start spreading.
Here's the 2-2.
And Jake, a fly ball to center. Harris is back. Harris at the track, looking up. It is gone! Jake Bowers with one of the at-bats of the year.
The Brewers head to New York to take on the Mets. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:35 on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It is Wednesday, August 26th. Your top story, results of the investigation into the mishandling of a 911 call.
I'm Neil Doyle, in for Jessica Ty. Millions coming to Wisconsin after a landmark social media settlement.
Mix of sun and clouds today, high 83 degrees, clear tonight, a low of 63, 80 and sunny on Thursday, 80 and sunny on Friday. It's 77 right now in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, not releasing information into the mishandling of a City of Milwaukee 911 call. Took almost 3 hours for help to arrive after a man broke into a 99-year-old woman's home on Milwaukee's south side and severely beat her on July 27th. City of Milwaukee Department of Emergency Communications Director Tony Bueno.
But I was recently advised, City Council and Open Records, that we could not release that as quickly as I would like due to some procedural issues. We need to allow employees involved time to either augment the record or to request that we not release it.
2 call takers have resigned. The dispatcher involved will receive additional training after the investigation found he did not violate department policies.
Of the multi-billion-dollar settlement with Meta, Wisconsin will receive over $200 million for programs to support kids' mental health. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul, more importantly, saying that the money and the sweeping changes Meta will be forced to make on its social media apps.
These changes are not only going to help reduce harms for kids' mental health online, but I hope they can set a new standard for the entire industry so that kids who are using social media can stay safe and remain healthy as they're online. We want to see this agreement prompt other companies to make similar changes.
The changes, which include stronger age verification, 2-hour daily limits for teens, and mandatory pauses to prevent doom scrolling, could take effect as soon as 2 months after the settlement is approved by the courts.
A tech titan is out with a 6,000-word essay warning that we're blowing it on artificial intelligence.
Bill Gates says the computer industry that he championed is now a global threat. Gates saying he's in a state of shock as to why there's not more urgency on AI. He says on semaphore, self-regulation, championed by so many in the industry and the White House, is not working. And he'll gladly debate anyone opposing mandatory reviews of any AI system that could be weaponized to make new molecules and unleash a pandemic. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
A hearing now set to review the conditional release for Slenderman stabber Morgan Geyser.
Geyser's defense attorney has filed another petition seeking her release after she escaped her group home in 2025. Then 12-year-old Morgan Geyser pled not guilty by mental disease in the stabbing of her classmate Peyton Leitner to appease the fictional character Slenderman in 2014. Geyser was committed to a psychiatric hospital in 2019, which she escaped by removing her ankle monitor in November 2025. She was returned to Wisconsin and her conditional release was revoked. Her hearing has been set for next Thursday, September 3rd. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
And folks still without power in northwest Indiana over 2 weeks after devastating storms ripped through the area. Many calling for answers from Indiana's energy company NIPSCO. Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita.
There's an inherent conflict of interest when a for-profit power company has a fiduciary duty to its shareholders and a duty to its customers.
NIPSCO has filed for 3 electric rate increases with the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, despite the ongoing storm recovery in northwest Indiana. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Lots of red this afternoon. Dow off about 150 points at 53,426. NASDAQ down about 90 points today at 26,062. And the S&P off about 10 points at 7667. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 12:04.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you so.
Hey, moms, dads, grandparents, is summer getting a little long? Kids getting bored? WTMJ's John Mercure here. How about this? Treat them to the Mine Shaft Restaurant and Entertainment Center in Hartford, the area's most affordable staycation destination. The Mine Shaft has a gigantic game room with over 70 games, including the easiest games for the little ones. And Sunday through Thursday, kids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu. That's right, free. Get a huge 18-inch pizza, a pitcher of soda or beer, and 100 game room credits for just $44.99. The pizza easily feeds a family of 4. Coaches, bring in your soccer, baseball, and basketball team. It's super affordable team bonding. Your teenagers will really love the Mine Shaft. Take your kids to the Mine Shaft in downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh for hours of cool and comfortable fun. Kids menu starts at $3.99. Big food, big fun. The game room opens at 12 noon today. Just walk in, mineshaftRestaurant.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. A crowded practice field in Green Bay with the Packers and Cardinals joining forces. Packers safety Xavier McKinney believes the joint practice and playing in the preseason are valuable to being ready for the regular season.
Just kind of getting that feel of the game, feeling the real speed of the game. I think it's good for the team. I think it's good for the guys, just so when we actually start the season, we start the first game, it's not our first time of full live action. I think it's good for us, and I think it gets us prepared to where we need to be for week 1.
Packers and Cardinals wrap up the preseason Friday night at Lambeau. Missed opportunities doomed the Brewers in a 3-2 10-inning loss to the Mets Tuesday night. Rookie shortstop Cooper Pratt pulled from the game for not hustling after a bloop single.
Got to be better. Stuff that can't happen. It's not winning baseball. Didn't help the team win. And it won't happen again, that's for sure.
Dustin May will start tonight in Game 2. Coverage gets underway at 5:35 in WTMJ. Brewers begin the day with a 5.5-game lead over the Cubs for first place in the NL Central.
Take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Really not seeing any major issues across the system. Maybe everybody's at lunch already. Tapping the brakes just a little bit in some of our work zones, but everything's moving along nicely.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law fights for those who fought for us. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied the VA benefits you're entitled to, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Well, overall, pretty nice day here. A little warm out, a little muggy. Yeah, feels like summer. High 83 degrees. Overnight low 62. A little less humid on Thursday and Friday. Beautiful days on tap here. Sunny skies with a high of 80 on Thursday, 80 and sunny on Friday. Looks like a great way to end the work week here. It's currently 79 right now in Milwaukee at 12:09.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Neil Doyle.
Greg and Neil with you till 3 o'clock. Happy National Dog Day, deal for those of you who celebrate. Not sure if you do, but we do at the Matzik household.
I mean, I've had dogs my entire life. My family actually operates a small animal hospital.
Is that right?
So, yeah. No, I did not get into the business. Not a veterinarian, clearly. Okay. But no, love dogs.
Okay. All right. Well, happy National Dog Day to our dog Knight. Gina's dog, incidentally, named Dolly.
Oh, really?
After the late Dolly Parton.
I did not know that.
It is 12:09. Let's get started.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Well, hundreds are missing, and 3 American tourists are confirmed to have died after massive flooding in Nepal, right on the border of China. Details from ABC's Lama Hassan at the foreign desk.
Where this took place near the border with China is a popular destination with tourists, and according to the Nepalese Tourism Board, nearly 400 tourists are missing. The army has urged people to remain on high alert and to stay in safe places.
Officials believe the death toll is going to rise. This is a massive tourist area in the area of Nepal. I mean, It is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's stunning mountains, unlike anything you've really ever seen. Of course, Mount Everest is a highlight for those in that area. But right along that border of China, in the same area last year, a deadly flood killed 9 after a glacier burst on the Chinese side of the border. Officials do believe today's disaster is much worse and that death toll will ultimately climb.
Number 2, an apology from the mayor of New Berlin after sharing some anti-Muslim posts on his personal Facebook page. Mayor Dave Ament addressing that controversy at the start of last night's Common Council meeting, saying he takes full responsibility.
For this, I am sincerely sorry for the divisions and the hurt I have caused many of you and in our community. I accept the criticism of me personally, as my actions have needlessly intensified them.
So Ament read those remarks right at the beginning of the meeting last night, about 2 or 3 minutes, and then actually left the meeting and was not there for the rest of it. But that apology not sitting well with some, still some calling for him to step down. That includes members of the Wisconsin Muslim Civic Alliance.
This isn't something that just happened by chance. He accidentally posted something. This is indicative of something that has been going on for months, possibly years.
Now, on the agenda last night, the Common Council, they did unanimously approve a resolution. They formally condemned the mayor's post, reaffirming support for all religious freedom throughout that community. Again, Ament was in the meeting for just a couple of minutes, read those remarks, and then left. Has been the mayor there for quite a while, 13 years now. Despite the criticism, though, he is not stepping down. He will remain in office.
And finally, now at noon, 2 teams on the practice field in Green Bay. It's Matt LaFleur's Packers and brother Mike LaFleur's Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, he's quick to criticize everything that I put on the schedule. So he's like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? We never do this. And I was like, all right, Mike, you got all the answers. So no, it's been healthy. It's been good. So there's been give and take on both sides for sure.
LaFleur stopped short of calling it a family reunion, but did note that brother Mike is going to be staying at the house and got the family coming up from Arizona, bringing the kids, right?
Yeah.
So the dinner table should be awfully fun tonight with all of the LaFleurs. There's another family connection here, which is kind of interesting. So Bo Melton, the Packers wide receiver, his brother is a defensive back for the Arizona Cardinals. So there was even some talk about them doing some one-on-one reps against each other today in Green Bay. So kind of a fun way to end training camp. It is the final open to the public training camp practice, and ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde is there. They got practice started about 11:30. We'll check in with Jason for the latest on the green and gold after this.
It's WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. If you're looking for expert care without that cold clinical vibe, Sweet Talks is where beauty, wellness, and self-confidence comes together in such a fun, welcoming space. Sweet Talks offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, even wellness services like weight loss or hormone optimization. Sweet Talks provides a comprehensive consultation designed just for you. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Greg Matzek here for Annex Wealth Management. All the headlines about market volatility. It's common to have some uncertainty about where your financial path is headed. All these geopolitical situations, tariffs, inflation, you know what I'm talking about. It's in the news every day. Well, the folks at Annex Wealth Management help you approach the uncertainty with clarity. And they do it through experienced planning and professional guidance. What they've done for us for nearly a decade now. We've trusted the folks at Annex to help build out our retirement path, and we feel comfortable with it. We've made some tweaks along the way because our situation evolves. Our situation is custom, and so is yours. The folks at Annex understand this. Coordinated expertise with a powerful in-house team with CFPs and CFAs, CPAs, PhDs, anybody to help you out, attorneys, and more, all working together to help you adjust as the market shifts. See what they do in person. You can join Annex in person on Wednesday, September 9th at their Brookfield headquarters. It's called Single in Retirement. Explore resources to plan for healthcare, housing, finances, and create a support network. All you got to do is click on the events tab at annexwealth.com to reserve your spot. Join Annex in person Wednesday, September 9th at their Brookfield headquarters. And know the difference with Annex Wealth Management.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources, help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need, they help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
Be our eyes on the road. See something out there that I should know about?
Traffic accident southbound 894 south of Beloit Road. Do have the right lane blocked.
Call me, Debbie Lazaga, on the WTMJ traffic tip line, 414-238-9329.
About 2 miles past Bryan Road, there is a car fire on the right shoulder.
The drive affects you. Why not be part of it?
Debbie Lazaga, I want to thank you for the wonderful, wonderful job you do every day.
Give me a call, 414-238-9329.
Well, nice, warm, sunny afternoon for Packers practice. It is 83 right now in Milwaukee. That's our high today. In fact, a little cooler right now in Milwaukee. It's 79. Sun returns on Thursday and Friday with temperatures right around 80 degrees. If you're headed up to Lambeau, should be a great night for football as the Packers and Cardinals round out the preseason at Lambeau Field. 79 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:16. Oh, no, Gina, did somebody get injured? You constantly play bumps that reflect a storyline that we'll likely talk about. Did I miss something? Somebody didn't get hurt, did they? Oh, wait, Jay Love is hurt? Oh, wait, no, the Arizona Cardinals, Jay Love. Okay. Yeah, this is very confusing. There's an M. LaFleur and a Jay Love on both the Packers and Cardinals. There's two Meltons here. I know Matt LaFleur stopped short of calling this a family reunion in Green Bay, but it does kind of feel like it, right? With the Packers and Cardinals now on the field as part of their joint practice ahead of Friday's preseason finale. ESPN Wisconsin and Channel3000.com's Jason Wilde is at practice. Hey, Jason.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
This is always fun. I like watching this. I've seen some of the joint practices before, Jason, and I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting. I know Aaron Rodgers poo-pooed one of the joint practices because of a family connection that a coach for the opposing team had. Well, there's quite the family connection here, but I don't think M. LaFleur is worried about other M. LaFleur sharing secrets with division rivals.
He's not, but it was fun to get Matt LaFleur to acknowledge basically that while Aaron Rodgers may have gone about it poorly back in 2019, he was right that they dialed back a bunch of the stuff they were going to run offensively because Chuck Pagano, the defensive coordinator for the Bears, their opening game opponent that year, his brother John was on the Texans staff. And so Matt LaFleur admitted they played it close to the vest. And that will not be a problem today. Matt LaFleur joked that if the film of these practices get out, there's going to be a problem because he's going to get after his younger brother by 7.5 years. But no, this is, you're allowed to choose one opponent in the preseason now. The NFL used to give you more leeway, and the Packers used to always finish with Tennessee, for example. But now you get to choose one game, and the LaFleur brothers immediately were like, hey, let's do it. They are scheduled to face each other next season on the regular season schedule. But today it's a work day, and it's a fun storyline. And they're not even the only pair of brothers that are out on the field today because Bo Melton, Packers wide receiver, and Max Melton, the Cardinals cornerback, are probably going to go at it a little bit here shortly after I get done talking to you guys.
I didn't know that rule change, Jason, with where you can request this. So I think maybe some people thought, oh, this is just coincidental that they get to do this joint practice, the final preseason game. But I mean, why not? Why not get to go up against your brother? Kind of fun.
Well, and I think it would be probably beneficial if they had more leeway. I know other coaches really liked having that leeway, and part of it too is because of the value to Greg's point about the joint practices. Like, one of the things that is really important is that if you're not going to play your guys in preseason games, and the Packers have played their starters some, obviously, but you really want a controlled environment. And certainly anytime you step foot on a football field, there's the danger of being injured. I get that. But this is a much more controlled environment. The quarterback isn't live, so he's not getting hit. I mean, remember last summer, they opened preseason play with the Jets. Jordan Love played one series, and on the last play, he was sacked, tore a ligament in his left thumb. Thankfully, it wasn't his right thumb, which is his throwing hand. So there is risk, but I think coaches really like the ability to control the environment. I asked Brian Gutekunst, Packers GM, today, if he would like to see a day where you do 3 of these, and then you have 3 preseason games that you largely let to the guys that are fighting to make the roster. And he said he thought 2 would be enough, and the Packers have done 2 each of the last 3 summers, but this year they've only got 1.
So, Jason, the NFL continues to investigate this domestic disturbance incident involving Packers running back Josh Jacobs. I know he's been sidelined because of a groin strain. It seems like physically he would be okay to play week 1 of the regular season. I viewed it myself as something that would have been resolved before the start of the regular season, or that should be resolved before the start of the season. Is that really the case? Is it possible this could drag out, or is the NFL waiting on Brown County and so on and so forth? How do you manage this right now if you're Brian Gutekunst?
Yeah, it's a great question, Greg. And I didn't go to law school. I do not have a background in law enforcement. I do watch a lot of Law and Order reruns, so I know that the gears of justice grind slowly. But this is ridiculous how slowly. And look, I will never, ever, ever underplay the significance of any sort of allegation about domestic violence. And the issue here is that this is very unusual for a decision on charging someone to go this long. I mean, this happened Memorial Day weekend. We're almost to Labor Day weekend. That, all the lawyers that know a lot more about it than I do in terms of the process say that this is unusual. Brian Gutekunst today talking about it, he was asked about the potential uncertainty with Josh Jacobs. He did not sound like someone who is worried that his starting running back's not going to be available. He did not sound like someone who feels like they have to add more running backs to their roster to protect themselves right now if he gets suspended. The one thing that I think is really important, because I've seen a lot of people make this comparison, there's a edge rusher for the Atlanta Falcons named James Pierce, and he was suspended 8 games by the league. Now, he was involved and charged with multiple felonies. Remember, Josh Jacobs, as of today, as we talk, has not been formally charged with anything. But he was charged with multiple felonies. He entered a diversion program that those felonies will be cleared from his record if he completes the program in a year. But that's, to some degree, an admission of guilt. And so when the NFL got involved, they suspended him for 8 games. Josh Jacobs' situation is not the same. So is it possible he could draw suspension? I wouldn't rule it out, but based on the way things have played out so far, it seems as though it is unlikely that will happen. But the Brown County District Attorney's Office has not made any statement in a month and a half. I think the last person I talked to was Vince Vetrano. Yeah, I haven't gotten any emails returned, so we continue to wait and see.
Hey, Jason, I know Brian Gutekunst was also kind of asked about Tucker Kraft, the ongoing contract, trying to get him re-signed. Kind of where was his adage today with that? Did he feel like, they're getting closer to a deal, or where do things stand?
Yeah, that guy that asked the question, I don't know about him. He's kind of sketchy. And I didn't get as clear of an answer as I was hoping for, frankly. Because look, like I was just saying, when you set foot on a football field, you are putting yourself at risk. And Tucker Kraft is doing that, and you two and Gina and I, we're not making the kind of money NFL players are. I get it, but if you were told that you're in line to make 7 times of what you're currently making, but there's some risk involved with you doing your job in the meantime, I don't know about you, but I'd be treading very carefully because that's a big difference in money, and that's what Tucker Kraft is facing. And yet he's out there. And my argument would be he could very easily, because lots of players have done it, withhold their services until he has a new deal. And he has chosen not to do that. And it's a little bit odd to me that this deal isn't done. I asked Goody specifically, is it a priority to have it done before you kick off in Minnesota on September 13th? And he basically said no. he basically said, look, we'll get done when it gets done, and we want Tucker. We believe in him, what he can do for us this year and in the future. But as of right now, nothing is apparently imminent.
So, Jason, 4 days away from rosters needing to be down to 53. Of course, Packers will have a practice squad that they will put together as well after that round of cuts. How many positions are really up for grab going into Friday's game? Final preseason game. There's always some bubble players. Injuries factor into it as well. But how many spots are really up for grabs right now?
Yeah, great question, because it's also so different. I mean, obviously, you were up here a lot earlier in your career, and Tausch and I talked about it too. Like the practice squad back when Tausch was playing, like there were very strict rules. Like you had to have less like 9 games, or you had to have been in the league or out of your draft class for less than 3 years to even be eligible. Now you guys could be on the practice squad. Like literally anybody can be on the practice squad. And so it gives them more flexibility roster-wise. Like you may choose to release, like last year, Christian Welch, linebacker from Iowa, really good special teams guy, was released at the final cutdown, came back on the practice squad, wound up on the 53-man roster later. So they kind of take more of a 70-man roster view than a 53-man roster view, but certainly there are decisions to be made. I would say there's probably 4, 5, 6 spots where you don't know if an extra wide receiver, an extra running back, or an extra corner is going to make it. But this is today's NFL. Your roster, you kind of decide on your roster in January, February, and March, and then you hope your guys stay healthy enough to get to the start of the season.
Well, open to the public practices end today following the joint practice. That is it. They move on to kind of a normal schedule here. Preseason finale wraps up on Friday. That'll be at Lambeau Field, Packers and Cardinals. Always great stuff from Jason Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin, and outstanding work online at channel3000.com. Always great, Wilde. Thanks so much.
All right, fellas, take care. Be good.
Yep, you do the same. I love being able to hear just hints of practice in the background.
Yeah, you
right?
get a little ambient sound.
Well, I've known Jason for a very long time, and in all my years covering the Packers, and Jason does a lot of hits on the radio, so I always knew when he was doing one of those hits because he'd try and find the absolute quietest spot possible that also had the best reception, which is quite the needle to thread when you're up in Green Bay. So it's very possible he was on the other side, Clark Hinkle Field, which is separated by a building on the other side of Ray Nitschke Field. So always great hearing from Wilde. Really good stuff online right now at channel3000.com. It's 12:27. We've got news coming up in just a few minutes.
Good Karma Sports is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with Good Karma Sports, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmasports.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmasports.com.
Well, our master closet is a thing of beauty right now, thanks to Inspired Closets Milwaukee. It was a disaster about 7 months ago. Builder-grade racking, nothing really stayed folded or on those shelves. They're a little too high for my wife to reach anyway. It's just kind of a mess, and it became a source of frustration and stress. Well, I don't like stress, and I don't like clutter, and neither do the folks at Inspired Closets Milwaukee. Katie and Dan came out to the house, took some measurements, said, yeah, we can work with this. Got a great space. We just got to organize it properly. And did they ever? Just a beautiful job redesigning and transforming our master closet. I now keep that door open. Yeah, go ahead. Look inside. It's great, isn't it? Organized. There's a spot for everything. Nothing on display that we don't want to have on display. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful design and execution job. We're another story, positive one, here for Inspired Closets Milwaukee. Whatever that space is for you, have Inspired Closets do for you what they did for us. Pantry, laundry room, mud room. Ask if they can do in your garage. Anything that requires an organizational touch, it's Katie and Dan. InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
No matter what we were doing, the Brewer game was always on. Kind of the background of my childhood. I wore number 17.
Oh, you did? I didn't know that was my number.
Yep. This is my friend Jim Gantner. Jim was always my favorite player. We did Jim's roof up in Eden.
Right. The great job he does on homes. Most important is honesty, integrity, and doing a great job.
See how Big Fish Contracting is renovating homes and redeeming an industry at bigfishcontracting.com.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
From singing varsity to jump around, and of course, touchdown, Wisconsin! The traditions of Badger football live here. Join us Sunday, September 6th. It's the season opener at Lambeau against Notre Dame. Our coverage begins at 4:30 on your home for Wisconsin football.
For all the Badgers action this season, go to Wisconsin's radio station, 620 WTMJ.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In Massachusetts, prosecutors in the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy have rested their rebuttal case. The mother is charged with the killing of her 3 children, and defense attorneys argue she was suffering from postpartum psychosis. Closing arguments set to begin this week. At least 95 people are confirmed dead, more than 400 others missing following massive flash floods in Nepal, including 47 Americans. Here's ABC's Lama Hassan.
We spoke to a Nepalese tour company that confirmed 3 Americans are missing right now after a massive flash flood triggered a mudslide sweeping through parts of Nepal. The flood was so powerful, so destructive, it washed away everything in its path, villages and damaging roads. The flood hitting early on Wednesday morning just north of Nepal's capital, Kathmandu.
The brewing trade war between the U.S. and Canada showing no signs of ending. Canada vowing retaliatory hikes on American goods starting in September to match U.S. 50% tariffs on Canadian goods. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:31. The mayor of New Berlin apologizing to the community after posting anti-Muslim content on his personal Facebook page. Mayor Dave Ament says he's truly sorry and takes full responsibility for his actions.
I apologize to our great staff, council members, and this wonderful community we call home for creating this distraction from all we have accomplished and all the great things we continue to work on to better our city.
The Common Council unanimously passed a resolution condemning the mayor's posts. Ament has been New Berlin's mayor for over a decade. He remains in office.
Authorities in Jefferson County need help finding 2 inmates who escaped from jail over the past 2 weeks.
42-year-old Jeremiah Smith, who escaped on August 10th while serving a 9-month sentence for retail theft. He's 5 foot 8 inches tall with tattoos on his forearms. The second is 39-year-old Robert Zimmerman, who left on August 19th for a job interview in Watertown and did not return. He's 6 foot 1 inch tall with a full tattoo sleeve on his left arm. Both men were a part of the Huber Work Release Program, which allows inmates to leave the jail for specific reasons. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
An investigation is underway after a child entered an animal enclosure at the Milwaukee County Zoo. Video shows the child running through the inside of the African Savannah Yard Monday while chasing a bird with a stick.
Jack! Where is there, Jack, get over here.
Well, the child was removed by an adult and his family. No animals or people were injured. It's unknown if the child's family will face any consequences.
State lawmakers ordering an audit following the financial collapse of a nonprofit that provided services to low-income families across northeast Wisconsin. The audit will review the state's oversight of community action agencies. One of those organizations, NewCap, shut down back in March amid financial problems. Former NewCap executive Carly Hill testified that concerns about spending and oversight deserve an independent review.
Protecting taxpayers and the people these programs are intended to serve should never be controversial. Follow the money, follow the facts, hold the appropriate parties accountable, and fix what needs to be fixed.
The committee is also ordering an audit of the state's food share program.
The 175th Wisconsin State Fair drew over 925,000 visitors through the gates.
That number is up slightly from a 2025 state fair that was shortened by 1 day due to last year's historic flooding on the final day of the fair. The 2026 total is down more than 200,000 visitors from a record-breaking 1.1 million in 2024. As for the cream puffs, the Wisconsin Bakers Association reports it baked and assembled more than 350,000 of the pastries for fairgoers. The 2027 State Fair will run August 5th through the 15th. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Sport, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1234.
Don't miss out on the Labor Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. Our entire showroom of heirloom quality furniture is on sale. Enjoy factory discounts on exceptional brands like Norwalk, Bradington Young, Hooker, and our Amish dining and bedroom collections. Create a sofa, chair, sectional, or recliner as unique as you are with our thousands of customizable upholstery options. For unbeatable savings on better quality furniture, shop the Labor Day sale now at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown. Do you love the simplicity and enduring quality of Scandinavian design? Then the Fjords Labor Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture is for you. Fjords brings the best of modern Norwegian furniture design to your home. Save today on these ergonomic recliners, sofas, and sleeper sofas engineered with comfort and durability in mind. Available in a variety of shapes, sizes, leathers, and finishes to match any decor. Stop in today and save during our Labor Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, "I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house." Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzik households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 17 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. That's bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The NFL continues to investigate a Maine domestic disturbance incident involving Packers running back Josh Jacobs. No formal criminal charges have been filed, but Packers GM Brian Gutekunst believes the team is equipped to handle a possible suspension.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident we can sustain it. That doesn't mean we wouldn't do that, yeah, we'll deal with that when that comes. But we've obviously been, preparing for that in case that happens. But at the same time, I feel really good about the guys we got in that room, and I think we could survive that.
Jacobs also battling a groin injury, but physically appears to be on track to begin the regular season against the Vikings. Dustin May takes the mound for the Brewers tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game series against the Mets in New York. Brewers relievers Abner Uribe and Jojo Romero working through rehab assignments with the Class A affiliate. Romero acquired from the Cardinals just before the trade deadline. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 5:35.
Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We do have a new crash to report. This is 94 northbound as you're heading downtown right at Beecher Street. Part of the left shoulder is blocked. We've got a crash. Cameras can't really tell. Looks like crews are on the scene. Can't see how many vehicles involved, but we are seeing some slowdowns in that stretch, so kind of tapping the brakes once you hit Holt Avenue and then eases up once you get past Beecher. Seeing some typical delays, 94 east and westbound through the stadium interchange in our work zone there, so a bit slow between Hawley and 35th. Full speeds everywhere else.
Well, it feels like a sincere summer day here. Partly sunny, high of 83, little on the muggy side, clear tonight, a low of 63. Sun returns on Thursday, 77 near the lake, could hit 80 inland. Exact same scenario on Friday. It's 79 right now, mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 1240. At least 1 in 4 former NFL players who died between 2016 and 2021 had chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE. This according to a new study from the British Medical Journal. I want to go through the numbers here with ABC Medical Unit expert Sony Salzman. Sony, what research is the British Medical Journal relying on to arrive at its conclusion and these numbers?
Yes, thanks for having me. I mean, this is a really important study that is generating a lot of attention, certainly in the medical community and also with the NFL. The study found that 1 in 4, 25% of players at least had CTE upon their death. Now, the reason that this is hard to study is because CTE can only be diagnosed after death. It can only be diagnosed by looking at brain tissue. And what that looks like is kind of a shrunken brain, enlarged fluid spaces, these abnormal kind of brownish clumps of proteins. And prior estimates have been all over the place because typically when people donate their brains or the family donates their brain, it's because they expect or suspect that CTE is going to be there. So I've seen prior ranges estimating 1 in 6, upwards to like 90%. This study is getting at a more accurate prevalence, but whatever that true number is, it's high.
So the numbers are interesting here. Among the deceased players, 235 families donated their loved ones' brains for research. Of those specific brains examined, an alarming 91.5% tested positive for CTE. But because CTE can only be diagnosed after death, researchers accounted for the players who did not donate their brains by calculating a wider potential window, concluding that 24.5% is a conservative low end. So are the numbers and methodology skewed in any way, or why is this perceived to be accurate?
This study is actually being applauded for its design and the way that it was done. And really, as it's become more normalized for players to donate their brains, and, all of the families, doctors really commend players who do this, it has become possible to derive this more accurate estimate because of the number of brains that are available now. Even though those numbers do feel small, this is one of the best estimates that we have of the prevalence. So again, those researchers estimating that they think that it's at least 25%, but it may be more. That's the bottom number there.
So CTE at this point can only be diagnosed after death. Do researchers in any way account for cognitive decline or signs of slipping?
So what CTE can look like, even though there's no definitive diagnosis in the living, there are these kind of telltale signs. Now, sometimes it's not clear if those are because of the CTE, or maybe someone just genuinely has, for example, a mood disorder. But some of those signs can be mood disorders, agitation, dementia, aggression, and in extreme cases, you've seen cases like Aaron Hernandez, Philip Adams, who committed murders and were diagnosed with CTE after their death.
How is the NFL responding to this, Sonny?
The NFL is out with a statement saying they're taking this study very seriously, and they're pointing to a lot of the work that they've done in the past to kind of reduce the risk of CTE as there's been mounting evidence of this disease. Now, one of the problems here is that, helmets help, but it's not enough because the biggest predictor of CTE is repetitive blows over time. So what doctors are telling us is that for players who started their careers even back when they were children, that means years and years and years of repetitive blows, lower level blows to the body, to the head, sometimes not serious injuries, but it's that repetitive, enduring nature of the contact sport that dramatically increases the risk of CTE. So you've seen other measures, for example, in youth sports in soccer, many leagues ban headers in soccer, below the age of 12 or, in younger kids. So people are trying to implement changes that will help reduce the risk, but we're seeing in this study that, the prevalence is still high.
Did the NFL bring it up in its statement, the idea that there will soon be an 18-game schedule and they will soon have added 2 games to the regular season schedule? I say that in jest, but it's coming. So the NFL on one side is saying, hey, look, we've got all these things in place. We have upgraded our equipment. We've changed the rules. Our concussion protocol is better than it's ever been. Oh, by the way, we're probably going to add to our regular season schedule.
And I think this leaves families of older, players themselves who are adults, and then families of who are thinking about enrolling their children into contact sports in a very difficult position, because as the evidence is mounting on the damaging effects of CTE, doctors are increasingly alarmed, increasingly warning. We don't have really robust ways to mitigate this risk, as this study is showing. But football, American football, remains, as popular as ever. The mounting evidence on CTE, obviously hasn't done much to reduce the popularity of the sport. It's America's pastime. So I think families are going to be grappling with a lot of these questions as they send their kids back to school and as football season ramps up.
Sonny, you mentioned this is repetitive head trauma over time, and maybe it starts when players are at the youth level. Yes, I imagine the technology at the NFL level is better than anywhere in the world with regard to how to protect your head. We've seen the Guardian caps introduced over the last couple of years in the NFL. But not every youth program has the same resources. Not everybody has the same equipment standards. Not everybody can afford a high level of equipment to protect their kids the way they probably should be. So there does seem to be a disparity here at the youth level all the way through high school and before they would even enter college.
There are disparities in the resources that are available, but again, fundamentally, one of the big issues is that CTE, the risk can really be exaggerated by these repetitive blows over time. And while there are great things like concussion protocols that have been, built out and are much more robust these days, sometimes it's not, a big catastrophic concussion like you've seen on television, these very high-profile cases. Sometimes it's just the nature of the sport. It's a contact sport, right? And so that is a really difficult challenge when it comes to reducing the risk, because it's the very nature of the sport itself.
ABC's Sonny Salzman joining us. We appreciate it, Sonny. Thanks so much.
Happy to do it. Thank you.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities, where senior living's our expertise. Caring staff that help you when you need. Enjoy life at Capri, making friends and memories. Living life to the fullest, you will love your new home.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, old-fashioned roofing and trees on the move. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
As the kiddos get ready to get back to school, you can find really great back-to-school savings at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. School supplies and some surprisingly cool clothing too. And teachers, you get an additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory's arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy, and helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Beautiful day today, nice and warm. Feels like summer, high of 83 degrees. Currently 79, a little mix of sun and clouds. Overnight low 62. Thursday and Friday look great. High of 80 degrees inland, 77 closer to Lake Michigan. In fact, it's a similar forecast on Thursday and Friday. We are loving it. Great back end of the work week here. 79 right now and mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 12:49.
It's a story that I admit I've not thought of all that recently, but it is sort of one of those mysteries of American culture and lore here. John Wayne Gacy, a serial killer known for targeting young men in the Chicago areas in the 1970s. But there's also some Wisconsin ties that are being explored here. And could those Wisconsin ties in a 1970s cold case be solved on a deal from Mequon? WTMJ's Libby Collins with the details.
It was August 26th of 1973. Brother Louie was the number one song on the radio when 16-year-old Orrin Anderson was reported missing after spending time with friends at Vermont Park in Mequon. They last saw Orrin around 6:30 that evening. And Orrin's sister, Ruth Heller, remembers what happened next.
They did a search down at Vermont Park. They contacted his friends. I believe they had divers go down in Lake Michigan to see if there was a body. Maybe he drowned. They continued searching.
Orrin's brother Eric Anderson told me.
He went out swimming, they say. The Lake Michigan always throws its dead up.
Eric has another theory about what might have happened to his brother.
You know, he might have just taken off. I mean, my parents made him babysit 6 other kids, and he wanted to, go into mechanics. He could have just said, I'm out of here.
Orrin's sister Ruth says she thinks she might have seen him 5 years later.
I went to Elkhart Lake. I was 15 years old. Rode on a motorcycle. My friend had a 900 Kawasaki LTD. So there was another guy that had it. Orrin, when he went missing, had short hair. This guy had long hair. But his fang teeth, they were more pronounced. I pulled my friend aside and I said, I think that might be my brother.
But Ruth's ex-husband, Malin Heller, thinks something more ominous happened to Orrin.
He disappeared at the same time when John Wayne Gacy was in the area, and I still think maybe John Wayne Gacy got him.
Impossible? Well, perhaps not. Karen Conti, John Wayne Gacy's appellate attorney, says her former client may have been in Wisconsin at the time of Orrin's disappearance.
I believe that there are other victims and that when he was on trips for business, that he was doing that while he was in other places. And if you think about it, he's in the middle of a crime spree, and some nights he would go out and pick up a boy, come back, kill him, second boy, third boy, in one night. So tell me that he's in rural areas in Wisconsin and not doing the same thing. I would wonder if you could line up people that he might have also killed.
Could Orrin Anderson have been a victim of John Wayne Gacy? Karen Conti went on to say,
I got a call from a person in Mequon who said that a friend of hers went missing, told me exactly when the person went missing. He looked like one of Gacy's victims, same kind of small build, blonde hair. And I knew that Gacy was in that area somewhat around that time.
Ruth Heller told me this about Gacy being in Mequon.
John Wayne Gacy was one that went down to Vermont Park. The police had stopped him down there at one time.
But the Mequon police knew at one point that John Wayne Gacy was at the same park where your brother disappeared.
Yeah.
We've asked Mequon police if they have any records of an interaction with Gacy, but those records are more than 50 years old and not easy to access. However, Gacy was in Wisconsin in the 1970s. Was John Wayne Gacy responsible for the disappearance of Orrin Anderson? Well, some people say he resembled many of the victims. Orrin Anderson was 5'9" and 135 pounds. He had blue eyes and strawberry blonde hair and was last seen wearing black shorts, white tennis shoes, and the word vote on the front of his gray T-shirt. For WTMJ News, I'm Libby Collins.
And today is the 53rd anniversary of Orrin Anderson's disappearance. And you think about John Wayne Gacy, and there are other serial killers you might associate here in the state of Wisconsin, of course. Ed Gein, Jeffrey Dahmer, just to name a couple. But it highlights a possible connection here with John Wayne Gacy in southeastern Wisconsin. this was a guy who lived in Illinois and had kind of a public persona. He worked in construction. He was involved in local politics. Used to dress up like a clown for parties and so on and so forth. So people knew who he was. They just didn't know what was going on behind the scenes, which was completely horrific, right? The span of murders that he did in over the course of 6 or 7 years. But yeah, now this cold case in Mequon's got a kind of an interesting tie to it with the name John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, and I don't think I saw this story come out, and very interesting if you missed the conversation, but learning more about it and, right, maybe the possible tie here to Wisconsin, it certainly could be true.
It is 12:54, 12:55 we'll call it here on WTMJ. Got our weekly conversation with Midas Touch Chief Washington Correspondent Scott McFarland coming up at about 1:15. We had to move him a little bit. Normally he joins us here at 12:35, but Scott will be with us coming up at 1:15. Want to get his thoughts on the governor's race here in the state of Wisconsin. What happens when both sides are preaching the same thing? Right? Usually one side takes this stance, the other side takes an opposing stance, and they battle it out for votes. Well, what happens when they both are trying to preach the same thing? How does that work out? And is that a microcosm of what we're seeing here across the country? We'll check in with Scott. He is on the pulse of everything happening in the nation's capital, coming up at about 1:15.
25 years ago, a generational Bucks team made an unforgettable run.
This is the place to be.
Write It Up, narrated by Jim Paschke, is the new season of the Behind the Bucks podcast, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. This is the oral history of the 2000-2001 Milwaukee Bucks and their run to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Absolute bedlam here at the Bradley Center.
Listen now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Well, the story of Horicon Bank is an incredible story. It started back in 1896 in the town of Horicon for people going to work and building their lives here in the state of Wisconsin. Well, Horicon Bank still supporting the community, still opening doors to branches in Horicon and also New Berlin and Wauwatosa, Menominee Falls, Grafton, and West Bend. And they have something for everyone, every stage of life. Trying to get those kids underway with a new checking account or savings account, Horicon Bank can help you with that. Looking to make a home purchase, Horicon Bank can help you out with a mortgage. Maybe it's a remodel. HELOC's available at Horicon Bank. Checking, savings account, getting that business off the ground, meeting cash flow objectives. They can help you with everything at Horicon Bank. They do banking differently, and they've been doing it for 130 years. Horicon Bank gets the job done with services and products that go hand in hand, top-notch products to help meet your cash flow needs. Check out HoriconBank.com. Member FDIC.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
If you're in charge of uniforms and equipment, you want to get the most value for your team's budget. You want the most for your money, and you want the process to be easy. Because you already have enough on your plate. We get it. Burghardt Sporting Goods Team Outfitting Division is the best you'll find. With an abnormally high customer satisfaction rate and our own silk screening and embroidery facility for quality control. So if you want the highest quality team outfitting and incredible service, you can't beat Burghardt.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma sports station.
Vince Vitrano here with your HVAC guy, Urban Heating and Cooling. How much longer does that furnace have? Question to ask my man Ryan. His family-owned business with his wife Ellie, based in Franklin. They serve all of southeast Wisconsin. Now, what Ryan most wants to do is help you get as much life out of that furnace that you've already got. But when you have him in for a tune-up, now he can give you an honest assessment on how much longer that older unit will hold out. Free estimate is always part of the deal, so you know it will fit your budget. Tell him Vinny sent you when you call urbanheatingandcooling.com.
No two homes are exactly alike, so why would every window and door solution be the same? At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, premium quality doesn't come in just one price point. Whether you're replacing a few windows, remodeling historic fixer-upper, or building from the ground up, Pella offers gorgeous, high-quality, and customizable solutions for every unique situation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Jens Family Chiropractic in Germantown. Have you been dealing with nagging low back pain, sciatica, numbness, tingling? At Jens Family Chiropractic, they offer non-surgical spinal decompression. I'm getting that done right now on my neck. It's a gentle, targeted therapy designed to reduce pressure on irritated discs and nerves to help your spine recover. I feel so much better. Spinal decompression may be the best option for people struggling with disc problems or chronic neck and low back pain, especially when the same old treatments have not provided the relief that you're looking for. There are no injections, no surgery, and treatments are customized to you. Stop letting back pain dictate what you can and cannot do. Head to jensfamilychiropractic.com to schedule your consultation. That's YENTZ familychiropractic.com to find out if non-surgical spinal decompression is right for you as it has been for me. Head to jensfamilychiropractic.com.
Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
The lights get bright in New York, but this crew belongs on center stage.
Start spreading.
Here's the 2-2.
And Jacob fly ball to center. Harris is back. Harris at the track, looking up. It is gone! Jake Bowers with one of the at-bats of the year.
The Brewers head to New York to take on the Mets. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:35 on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 1 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, August 26th. Your top story, pleading not guilty to police misconduct.
I'm Neil Doyle, and for Jessica Ty, the fight continues over the Kennedy Center.
Partly cloudy, partly sunny today, high 83. Overnight low 63. Sun returns in full force on Thursday and on Friday with temperatures right around 80 degrees. It is 80 and mostly sunny now in Milwaukee at 101. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, suspended Milwaukee police detective pleads not guilty to misusing the department's flock license plate tracking system. 51-year-old Tarangi Chapman faces one count of felony misconduct for allegedly conducting 20 total illegal searches over 6 years. Chapman claimed the searches were for training purposes. Court documents show that he also allegedly placed a GPS tracking device on one person's vehicle. The case came to light during the investigation into former police officer Josue Ayala, who was convicted in July of similar charges.
2 City of Milwaukee employees resign after mishandling a 911 call during a home invasion.
This comes after a 99-year-old woman waited nearly 3 hours for help despite multiple calls to 911 on July 27th. 2 call takers resigned during the investigation into the incident. A dispatcher is receiving additional training after the investigation showed he followed the Department of Emergency Communications protocols. DEC Director Tony Bueno tells WTMJ.
We talk about departmental policies and procedures. We talk about standard operating procedures. We obviously didn't meet what we set out to do in our mission, vision, and values.
Bueno says additional information about the incident will be released after review from the city attorney. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
The Milwaukee School Board passes the latest revisions for the Milwaukee Public Schools Employee Handbook, but one issue remains. MPS Superintendent Dr. Brenda Caselius.
You will notice that there is one outstanding item in passing this handbook, and that is on leaves for union leaves, and we will work diligently to resolve that item.
The president of the Milwaukee Teachers Education Association, Ingrid Walker-Henry, says she's been advocating to change an attendance policy that targets black and brown hourly workers. Caselius says that is not the unresolved issue.
A court hearing tomorrow on the future of the Kennedy Center. The Justice Department is arguing that the performing arts facility could face financial trouble and structural decline if a judge blocks the administration's plans to renovate it and put the president's name back on the building. More from ABC's Catherine Folders.
The judge actually has scheduled an emergency hearing on this that will be tomorrow afternoon. But the Justice Department is threatening that the administration is just going to tear down the Kennedy Center altogether. And they say replace it with something like a large outdoor amphitheater. If the judge doesn't allow these renovations to move forward or for the president's name to be on the outside of the building.
The judge already ruling only Congress can change the name and rejected arguments that removing it harms fundraising.
The Chicago Cubs and Washington Nationals are pushing back against a WNBA trademark application for the W. News Nation's Molly Kavanaugh.
The teams say the mark could cause confusion with their own W logos. The Cubs have used their blue wind flag since the 1930s, while the Nationals feature a stylized W in their primary logo since their relocation to D.C. in 2005. The MLB says it's been in talks with the WNBA to establish clear boundaries between the trademarks.
Trademark law requires that similar marks not mislead consumers. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. A day in the red here with the Dow off 130 points at 53,444. NASDAQ off about 40 at 26,113. And the S&P down about 3.5 points today at 7674. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 104.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Is this one of those viral pranks?
Beg your pardon?
I think you promote Hasselus Mattresses employee-free showrooms just to lure me in so you can film a practical joke on me to go viral.
Sir, I assure you, we take employee-free mattress shopping very seriously.
What do? Tie me to a bed and spray me with silly string?
We simply let you try our selection of Beautyrest, Sealy Posturepedic, and more without commission-crazy salespeople breathing down your neck.
Uh-huh. Good one.
Others sell a Beauty Sleep by Beautyrest Queen Elm Cove A mattress for $1,599, but Hasselus has it for just $794.
Sure you do.
And through Monday, get a free adjustable base with the purchase of a select Sealy Posturepedic or Beautyrest mattress, plus free next day delivery.
So shopping at Hasselus won't make me TikTok famous?
Absolutely not.
Darn.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you or shop online at Hasselus.com.
Well, if you've been hurt in an accident, the folks at Gruber Law Offices will be there for you. Just reach out. Gruber takes the legal battle seriously. In fact, they focus on winning your case while you focus on healing. That is peace of mind, that you'll be provided with the best care, best service, and best representation. And with Gruber Law Offices, there is no fee or cost to call or retain their firm. In fact, never a fee with Gruber until they win your case. They've been winning cases for 40 years. It's one of the most powerful personal injury firms in the Midwest. It's a family-run business, but a large and powerful team here. 30-plus attorneys ready to fight your legal battle for you. And also, giving back to the community. That is critical for the folks at Gruber. It's hard to find an initiative throughout the course of a given year where you don't see Gruber attached to it. They support the community. They win your case. Gruber Law Offices. Check out gruber-law.com or call 414-276-6666.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill is hiring experienced line cooks and dishwashers. You'll make real money. Night and weekend hours are required. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today, start next week. Google and call the Fox and Hounds today.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests. That's WTMJ.com/contests.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. A crowded practice field in Green Bay with the Packers and Cardinals joining forces today. Packers safety Xavier McKinney believes joint practices and playing in the preseason, both valuable to being ready for the regular season.
Just kind of getting that feel of the game, feeling the real speed of the game. Is, I think it's good for the team. I think it's good for the guys, just so when we actually start the season, we start the first game, it's not our first time of full live action. I think it's good for us, and I think it gets us prepared to where we need to be for week one.
Packers and Cardinals wrap up the preseason Friday night at Lambeau. Missed opportunities haunt the Brewers in a 3-2 10-inning loss to the Mets Tuesday night. Rookie shortstop Cooper Pratt pulled from the game for not hustling following a bloop single.
Got to be better. Stuff that can't happen. It's not winning baseball. Didn't help the team win. And it won't happen again, that's for sure.
Dustin May will start tonight. Coverage begins at 5:35. The Brewers begin the day 5.5 games ahead of the Cubs for first place in the NL Central.
Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. We did have that crash 94 northbound right near Beecher. Looks like that has been cleared up, so good news there. No issue still. And then we are seeing just typical slowdowns in the Stadium interchange, 94 east and westbound. Tapping the brakes a bit between 35th and Hawley. Nothing out of the ordinary in that stretch. Otherwise, everything else looking good.
Sponsored by Accunet Mortgage.
Get your rock-solid pre-approval or a no-pressure refi checkup by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
From TMJ4, I'm meteorologist Lauren Larson with your 5-day Storm Team forecast. We have mostly clear conditions as our temperatures fall to the low 60s overnight, and then we're back to some sunshine for Thursday. Highs in the upper 70s and lower dew points. Rinse and repeat for Friday. Mostly sunny skies, low dew points, and comfortable temperatures reaching the upper 70s. As we get into this weekend, the humidity is back, and so are the storm chances. A chance for some storms on Saturday, and rain is likely on Sunday. Remember, your latest weather updates are always available at TMJ4.com. I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist Lauren Larson.
80 degrees right now, mostly sunny in Milwaukee.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Neil Doyle.
Happening with until 3 o'clock this afternoon. A reminder, Brewers baseball coming up at 5:35. Game 2 of the 3-game series out in New York against the Mets.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, released just moments ago, the latest Marquette University School law poll released shows Democrat David Crowley with a slim lead over Republican Tom Tiffany in the highly contested Wisconsin gubernatorial race following the August 11th primary. The poll surveyed 891 registered Wisconsin voters between August 12th and August 20th. Poll director Charles Franklin.
Crowley 5 points ahead, 49 to 44. This is with likely voters. That's those folks who say they're absolutely certain they're going to vote in the fall. You can see there's very big partisan loyalty in both parties. 91% of Republicans going for Tiffany, but an even bigger 98% of Democrats going with Crowley.
So you have to also understand these numbers, right? 49% to 44%. I mean, that is part of the margin for error. So, I mean, really, it's a tight race, I guess, any way you look at it. Another deal point here as part of the poll, registered voters, among those, the race is deadlocked at 44% each, with 12% remaining undecided. Remember, the undecideds were a big deal as part of the primary, Neil, while Francesca Hong, by name, had the highest percentage of voter support. The undecideds were a pretty close second, and a lot of those undecideds, I think, ultimately leaned toward David Crowley in a very tight, very narrow race that Crowley ultimately ended up winning. So the percentage of undecideds is far reduced from what we saw during the primary, and you have, I think, what many people expected here, and that is an early look at what should be a pretty closely contested race.
Some other big news today, Wisconsin will receive over $200 million, potentially up to $300 million in a landmark settlement with Meta. State officials saying that most of that money will be directed toward helping children. Facebook and Instagram, the parent company, has agreed to a $17 billion multi-state settlement over allegations it designed addictive features that harm children and teens. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Call.
Majority of the funds here from the settlement will be going towards various programs that support youth mental health, things along the lines that I talked about.
Again, part of the settlement, Wisconsin getting over $200 million. So who ultimately decides where that money will actually go? Call says the Wisconsin DOJ will determine that allocation, but it is not just a blank check.
We will be in contact with stakeholders and others about how we can use those funds most effectively to ensure that they're serving the purpose that they're designed to.
Now, part of this settlement as well also requires some major changes to both Facebook and Instagram for younger users. That includes time limits, some overnight restrictions, stronger parental controls, also new age verification measures. Call saying that some of those changes could begin within about 2 months of the judgment. Again, this still has to be ruled by the court, and then most of those should take effect within the next 6 months. So one of the biggest tech settlements in the country's history today.
Number 3, happening in Illinois. A measles testing site is open in Kane County after a rare case linked to Canelan High School is confirmed.
Health officials say measles is extremely contagious and spreads easily. The vast majority of students, more than 97% of them at this school, have been vaccinated. The student who was diagnosed, however, was unvaccinated. Canelan school officials decided to close the school so they could separate anyone who may be at risk from those who are considered safe because they've been vaccinated. In a statement, the school district says the health, safety, and well-being of our students, staff, and school community remain our highest priorities.
ABC's John Garcia. The testing site is set up in the parking lot of the Kane County Health Department for anyone who may have been exposed to measles at the high school or at a clinic in South Elgin. Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania, the state is confirming 2 measles-related deaths, the first of its kind in the United States this year. Measles requires a vaccination rate of at least 95% in a community to maintain herd immunity, and there have been stories in multiple communities of the vaccination rate declining.
Certainly a concern, especially with all these kids going back to school.
1:14 on WTMJ, our weekly check-in with Chief Washington correspondent Scott McFarland of the Midas Touch after this.
It's a summer of big wins with WinFest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Just play with your Potawatomi Rewards card for entries and your chance to win cash and reward play all summer long. Then keep the excitement going because all your monthly drawing entries roll over into the WinFest final drawings on September 25th, where you could win cars, dream vacations, free play, and cash. Don't miss out on WinFest, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Well, if you're headed out of town for Labor Day, not exactly sure what to do with the dog, maybe the people who usually watch your dog are also headed out of town. Well, you have no worries here. It's the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls. It is our go-to place for doggy daycare, boarding, and grooming services. You can do it all at the Hounds and Tap. There's no place like it. Trust the folks at the Hounds and Tap with your dog for the day or for an overnight. And get a nail trim while you're there. The Hounds and Tap will send you emails, customized emails. How's your pup doing? What are they into? What are they having fun doing at the Hounds and Tap? You'll see it in a special email for you. Also, dozens of pictures posted to their Facebook page each and every day. You'll know exactly what your dog is up to at the Hounds and Tap. If you want to hang out at the Hounds and Tap, you can do it too with your dog. That's right, the indoor-outdoor tavern. They're showing games. You can relax with a nice Wisconsin beverage, maybe food off a food truck. They've got events going on throughout the year. Check it out. There is no place like the Hounds and Tap. It's in Menominee Falls, right off Silver Spring. Find them online at thehoundsandtap.com.
You've seen us around town, volunteering, supporting events, and showing up where it matters. At Waterstone Bank, we're more than a bank. We're your neighbor. The money you deposit stays local, helping small businesses, creating jobs, and supporting home ownership. It's banking from the community for the community. Visit your local branch or WSBOnline.com to see how we're building a stronger southeastern Wisconsin, one neighbor at a time. Waterstone Bank, member FDIC.
Summer always starts with good intentions.
Kids home from school, weekend trips, more time outside.
But somehow the house is in complete chaos by June.
That's why summer is the perfect time to get organized with Inspired Closets.
We create custom solutions for garages, pantries, laundry rooms, and more so your home works better for real life.
And when everything has a place, summer feels a whole lot less stressful.
Visit us today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets.
A wife and husband team.
83 degrees, mix of sun and clouds today, little on the humid side. Overnight low 62. Thursday and Friday look great. Thursday's high 78, might crack 80 inland. Same deal on Friday to round out the work week. It's 80 and mostly sunny right now in Milwaukee at 117.
Now I just can't believe that you're gone, and I'm so alone.
Well, if you're watching along on our YouTube screen or with us here on the Talk and Text line, you've seen a very big smile on the face of Chief Washington correspondent for the Midas Touch, Scott McFarland, joining us from the nation's capital, suited up outside the Capitol building. Hey, Scott.
Good afternoon. Neil, your producer thinks she stumped me. Neil, your producer is wrong. I got this one locked down, brother. This is a group called Men at Large. And they were called Men at Large because they were really freaking heavy. And the song from 1993 is called So Alone.
Okay, you got a double thumbs up from Gina on that. I knew nothing of. I never even heard of the group. For goodness sake.
That's why she thought she stumped me.
Yeah. Well, Scott, you are joining us from the nation's capital. You're also joining us here about an hour after the latest Marquette University Law School poll revealed. And I know you'll find this shocking. You may want to sit down. By most accounts here, a dead heat between Tom Tiffany and Democrat David Crowley here for registered voters who were polled on the gubernatorial race. A dead heat in a purple state, I guess not a big shock.
There was somebody here at the Capitol earlier in the month who told me, I swear to you, that if Statler and Waldorf from The Muppet Show were running against each other in Wisconsin, it would be a dead heat. That it's just the rhythm and the nature of this state in the midterms in an off year like this. They're going to be these neck and neck battles. And it felt inevitable to admit that Congressman Tiffany and County Executive Crowley would have something like that manifest itself in the Marquette polling. I know Democrats here feel a lot better about their prospects, like a lot better ever since the primary. I think the energy, the resources, and the money that is now flowing to David Crowley is an indication of that. And Congressman Tiffany is trying to take this position that is somewhat emergent in his party, that he's the man against data centers and that David Crowley is not. And then David Crowley's taking the position, Greg and Neil, that he's the candidate against data centers and that Congressman Tiffany is not. Expect a whole lot of that over the next 68 days.
Scott, I always feel like, especially for us here in Wisconsin, battleground states, and when we do get some of these polls out, I know it's only August, but November will be here before we know it. We certainly are always curious kind of where things stand. Is that kind of the case in a lot of these other, battleground, maybe other purple states where maybe polling is a little more closely watched in some of those areas?
We've never been more distrustful in polling than we have been recently, but let's look through where else the numbers are similar to Wisconsin. In Arizona, there's an incumbent governor, Democrat Katie Hobbs, running against a Republican who was a certified election denier in 2020, a man named Andy Biggs. Close race according to the polling. Katie Hobbs is trying to galvanize independent voters in addition to Democrats to put her past the finish line. Ohio is all of a sudden a battleground state. That's a real 2004 thing to say, isn't it, Neil? But they're back in this situation where they have a gubernatorial race and a U.S. Senate race that is inside the margins according to polling. I think that's the best indication of where we are. Wisconsin is what Wisconsin is. It's always going to be at the forefront. It's always going to be competitive. But if Ohio is competitive again, that may show a national trend of an anti-incumbent fervor that is absolutely spreading among the electorate. No matter what your party is, if you're the person who is the institution, if you're the person who's in power, you're going to have a tougher time. And I think that's why you see, like in Ohio, the incumbent Republican senator is up against a wall, even in Ohio, against a Democratic challenger.
Where Tiffany and Crowley seem to share common ground here, Scott, is on the issue of affordability, which was a big point for President Trump in his run to the White House over Kamala Harris just a short while ago. Well, things are still expensive. Things are continuing to cost more. Both are preaching affordability as part of their campaign. I'm wondering if that is a microcosm of what we're seeing nationally. Usually it's, this side is on this side of one issue, the other side's on perhaps the opposing side of an issue, but affordability seems to have crossed over here.
It has. When I interviewed Mr. Crowley, he mentioned the word affordability several times, like in the first couple of minutes. But that is on message for any candidate right now. Voters aren't being subtle here. They're not equivocating. They're pretty clear that things cost too much, not just food. Not just gas, it's college, it's healthcare, it's transportation. And sometimes the candidates have to meet the moment, even if it's not their preferred issue. And I think that's why you see Congressman Tiffany and Mr. Crowley hitting hard on that. Thing is, the problem for Mr. Tiffany is that Trump seems to be all over the map on the issue of affordability. He has called it a made-up issue. And he doesn't mean it's a made-up in terms of people that aren't frustrated with costs. He's saying it's a democratic, mechanized issue against him. That's his argument. But he's also promoting the idea of data centers. He's also touting the stock market. He is not on message with other Republicans down ballot. And even though he's not on the ballot, his lack of enthusiasm for the issue of affordability is going to be a hindrance for people like Tom Tiffany and Republicans running elsewhere in Wisconsin.
Tariffs have been obviously the hot topic issue here the last few days with the kind of trade war with Canada going on. How could that maybe impact Tom Tiffany, obviously the president kind of, going at Canada here this week? How could that impact maybe Congressman Tiffany and kind of his position in running for the Republican spot?
I really do wonder how that plays in Southwest Wisconsin. I wonder if the unique and dramatic impact, Neil, this is having on farmers isn't going to be a drag on every candidate aligned with the president. We're seeing that in Iowa. That's why Iowa is an epicenter in this election, which sounds crazy to say out loud, but they have 3 congressional seats that could flip. A governor's mansion could flip. A Senate seat could flip in Iowa. And fertilizer prices, the uncertainty of costs for farmers is driving it. Yes, they're going to consider more bailouts for farmers, but that's not what farmers want. And we know there is a dairy farmer running to unseat Congressman Van Orden in La Crosse. And we know that farmers throughout the state are feeling the impacts of this, not in the long term, immediately. This is a problem that has to be overcome, and there are precious few days until voting starts.
Scott McFarland joining us from the nation's capital. You either have a great backdrop filter, Scott, or you actually are at the nation's capital right now. Where are you specifically? You kind of sound like you're in the marbled halls of somewhere.
Yeah, this is the Russell U.S. Senate building. This is one of the 3 Senate office buildings in Washington. This is also across the street from where all those cable networks have their cameras. And I've been doing the cable TV circuit today, so this was a good place to set up shop to talk to y'all. It's a good, safe place to be because the Congress is on recess. Both of our local senators are back home. It's kind of empty in here, so we can have a quiet conversation without me having to scream over the voices of everybody else in the Capitol today. It's also place for a good cheap lunch. The senators keep the prices down here for themselves. So if you want to get like a sandwich, a cup of soup, and a drink, this is affordable food here.
Yeah.
Well, that may be why there's less urgent about getting the food prices fixed for the rest of us.
It sounds like a great spot to do a fantasy football draft, maybe sometime between now and maybe Labor Day or the day after.
2 of them this week, Greg. And so may I just ask our favorite Packers watchers, what do we make of the running back situation?
So you're very curious, right? So the Packers general manager was asked about that today. Like, how do you plan here? Like, shouldn't we know something on running back Josh Jacobs by now? And the word out of Green Bay is that the GM does not appear worried that his star running back will be suspended, though the NFL and Brown County are still looking into this domestic violence incident that Jacobs was linked to back around Memorial Day. Memorial Day, and here we are, Labor Day. So the span of summer, Scott, it has taken. So this is dragged out, and it's been quite a slow process. The GM doesn't seem overly worried. He's also battling a groin injury, and he's, 28, 29 years old, so take that into consideration as well.
The GM's not battling the groin injury, right? You mean Josh Jacobs?
As far as I know, I think his groin is fully intact. But yes, Josh Jacobs. Tucker Kraft is back. I know your favorite tight end. It looks like he's going to go after tearing his ACL back in November. Like, he'll be ready for week 1. So I know he's one of your guys. You're a big fan of him. I texted you when he tore his ACL in November. I was like, Scott, no, Kraft is done. And I know you're very sad about that, but he's back.
Those of us who are flirting with the age of 50 can't envision coming back from an ACL in anything less than 10 years. But my man's coming back because he is that kind of fighter. He is that kind of spirit. And he's got the ethos of lunch pail worker, which is obviously such a part of the Packers culture. He'll be back, and we're all very bullish on his prospects.
All right, Scott, we'll go through your favorite sleeper picks when we chat again next week. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Good to see you, Paul.
Yeah, you bet. Scott McFarland joining us from the nation's capital, chief Washington correspondent for the Midas Touch.
When you come to our showroom, you'll find more than a dozen glass shower door displays. Now that's what you're going to want to see, because browsing a bunch of options usually spurs ideas that you've never even thought of. And when you walk around with one of our glass shower door experts, you can ask questions and get assurance. We're here to help. And after nearly 50 years in the glass shower door business, there's not a whole lot we haven't seen. So don't worry, your project's about to be put in the very best of hands. At Les's Glass Service, you can count on our experience that makes it easy to promise top-flight installation. Glass shower doors are our specialty, and we're out there humping it every day to add to our portfolio to make the next project even better than the last. This is Stacy Sinks. If it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better.
They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 17 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. That's bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
It's summer now, but you know what's coming down the pike? Yup, cold weather and high heating bills. Gene Miller here, and now is a great time to order new windows from my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. With national brands like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, and Softlight, Hometown can offer replacement windows that fit every home, style, and budget. Whether you're looking for wood, Fibrex, fiberglass, or vinyl, Hometown has a product for you. August is Marvin month. Call or stop in to win a Yeti cooler. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. Visit hometownwindows.com today.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about in my clinic kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. orthowisconsin.com.
Borrow, don't buy. Did you know that your public library system has a variety of things you can borrow? Besides books, check out board games, cake pans, ukuleles, museum passes, video games, even electrical testing kits. Whether it's mastering a new skill, trying a new hobby, or learning a new language, your library loves to share resources with you. Access thousands of on-demand video courses with your library card. Courses can be accessed anytime, anywhere. Find out what your Milwaukee, Waukesha, and Jefferson County libraries have to offer. Learn more at getyourlibrarycard.org.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Major flash flooding in Nepal blamed for more than 150 deaths. The death toll climbing. Hundreds still missing, including 47 American tourists. Here's ABC's Lama Hassan.
The rescue operation is underway. Where this took place, near the border with China, is a popular destination with tourists. And according to the Nepalese Tourism Board, nearly 400 tourists are missing. The army has urged people to remain on high alert and to stay in safe places.
Witness testimony and the evidence portion of the Lindsay Clancy trial in Massachusetts has concluded. The mother is charged with killing her 3 children in 2023. Her attorneys argue she has postpartum psychosis and didn't receive adequate medical treatment. Closing arguments are next in the trial. Reaction following the death of Dolly Parton stretching around the world. The American icon and superstar singer crossing music and cultural boundaries. Parton's family says a memorial for the 80-year-old legend will be small and intimate. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. A hearing is set to review the conditional release for Slenderman stabber Morgan Geyser.
Geyser's defense attorney has filed another petition seeking her release after she escaped her group home in 2025. Then 12-year-old Morgan Geyser pled not guilty by mental disease in the stabbing of her classmate Peyton Leitner to appease the fictional character Slenderman in 2014. Geyser was committed to a psychiatric hospital in 2019, which she escaped by removing her ankle monitor in November 2025. She was returned to Wisconsin and her conditional release was revoked. Her hearing has been set for next Thursday, September 3rd. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Wisconsin will receive $219 million in the landmark multi-state settlement against Meta. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Call on where the funds will go.
The vast majority will be going toward addressing mental health harms for kids in Wisconsin. The settlement agreement provides for 50% of the overall settlement at a minimum going towards addressing the types of harms that have caused. That includes things like grants to school districts, youth mental health programming, after-school programming.
The state could ultimately receive up to $313 million if certain industry conditions are met in the future. The settlement is still subject to court approval.
The collapse of a Northeast Wisconsin nonprofit is prompting a broader review of how the state keeps tabs on organizations receiving taxpayer money. State lawmakers approved an audit of Wisconsin's community action agencies after NewCap abruptly closed in March. Former NewCap executive Carrie Hill tells lawmakers the shutdown left more than 100 employees without jobs and millions of dollars owed to businesses and individuals.
Every dollar that is wasted or improperly managed is a dollar that cannot be used to help a family,
provide critical services, strengthen a community, and fulfill the mission for which those funds were awarded.
And the committee is also ordering an audit of the state's food share program.
Milwaukee police looking for help to find a missing child. 8-year-old Jeressa Rowe was last seen near 20th and Barbie Street on Milwaukee's northwest side. Rowe described as a black female, about 4 feet tall, 60 pounds, and a thin build. You can see photos of Rowe up on our website, WTMJ.com.
And Foremost Farms USA will close its Marshfield cheese manufacturing facility in December. 68 employees at the facility will be impacted by the closure, with the companies guaranteeing full pay until the closure. 40 workers are demanding a fair contract, claiming the company failed to address chronic staffing issues, lagging wages, and retirement security. Foremost Farms is a dairy cooperative with plants in 8 cities across the state.
Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1:34.
Accident Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wicker, Chief Homebuyer Helper with Wisconsin's own Accident Mortgage. Nicer homes are still getting multiple offers over asking, and there's only one winner per listing. I want to help you be that winner, which is why I just increased the rock-solid pre-approval guarantee to $10,000. It's all about getting the seller to pick your offer over the others. So AccuNet is now guaranteeing in writing to pay the seller 10,000 American bucks if we can't make good on the terms of your fully verified rock-solid pre-approval. Banks don't do that. We're willing to stand behind our work and stand behind you with a $10,000 guarantee that sellers will definitely notice. Maybe you've been writing offers and losing, which feels terrible, or maybe you're just starting out. Either way, don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval and let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Give the seller 10,000 reasons to say yes to your offer with AccuNet's new $10,000 rock-solid seller guarantee. Get started with yours today at accunet.com.
Don't miss out on the Labor Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. Our entire showroom of heirloom quality furniture is on sale. Enjoy factory discounts on exceptional brands like Norwalk, Bradington Young, Hooker, and our Amish dining and bedroom collections. Create a sofa, chair, sectional, or recliner as unique as you are with our thousands of customizable upholstery options. For unbeatable savings on better quality furniture, shop the Labor Day sale now at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown. There's no doubt that a better night's sleep makes for better days, and a good quality mattress helps make it happen. When you buy your new Milwaukee mattress from Ken Michaels Furniture, you are assured of a mattress made individually for you out of the finest materials right from our own Milwaukee factory. We make every style, size, and firmness of mattress imaginable, and with our factory direct prices, you will save hundreds of dollars. Milwaukee mattress from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee, where better days come from a great night's sleep.
It's the most wonderful time of year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, and more at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The NFL continues to investigate a May domestic disturbance incident involving Packers running back Josh Jacobs. No formal criminal charges have been filed. Packers GM Brian Gutekunst believes the team is equipped to handle a possible suspension. However,
I'm pretty confident we can sustain it. That doesn't mean we wouldn't do that, but we'll deal with that when that comes. But we've obviously been, preparing for that in case that happens. But at the same time, I feel really good about the guys we got in that room, and I think we could survive that.
Jacobs also battling a groin injury. He's been unable to practice in full at points throughout camp. Dustin May takes the mound for the Brewers tonight, Game 2 of a 3-game series against the Mets. Brewers relief pitchers Abner Uribe and Jojo Romero working through rehab assignments with the Brewers Class A affiliate. Romero was acquired from the Cardinals just before the trade deadline. Coverage of tonight's game begins at 5:35.
Take a look at the road. Your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We really don't have any major issues. Only incident I've got on the map is actually off the system. This is Highway 241 right near the Mitchell interchange. Part of the right lane is kind of blocked there. We've got a vehicle over on the shoulder. Otherwise, on the system, everything is moving along and things are looking good.
Summer-like conditions today. Plenty of sunshine. So much for the rain. Maybe it wasn't the forecast. Thought maybe it could dissolve, maybe break apart. That appears to be the case, at least for now. We welcome in TMJ4 meteorologist Lauren Larson. Hey, Lauren.
Hey guys, yeah, I'm okay without the rain here today. I know we are seeing some drought conditions across parts of, honestly, most of Wisconsin. So the rain is good, but it's okay to not have a Wednesday without rain. It's warm, it is humid, it is sunny. I will say a very, very small chance for some rain in the next couple hours, but I do think most of us will stay dry throughout the rest of the day today.
I was going to say, maybe we need it, because I feel like we started the month, we kind of had some heavy soakers, some storms that rolled through, but otherwise I feel like it has been quite dry in the last couple of weeks.
We've been kind of all over the place. I mean, even stretching back to April. It was the wettest April, the driest May. June was normal. July was almost the driest July. And then like the last 3 days of the month, we had a bunch of rain. August has been normal for the most part. I don't know exactly how much rain we've collected in Milwaukee. Some places have certainly seen more rain than Milwaukee, though. I think like at the airport, the number is smaller than maybe in Kenosha or Walworth County.
I'd be fine if it rained between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. every day of every week in the summer. Wouldn't that be perfect, right? It could replace any kind of sprinkling or watering you have to do. Doesn't disrupt your plans during the day. Lauren, there's got to be a way to make this happen. Dial in exactly when the rain's going to hit in like a 3-hour stretch, late at night, very early morning hours, and minimal effect on your daily routine.
What if I try to do that and then I'm like off by a few hours and then it rains every day from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Yeah, good question.
Every single day.
Well, you blame NIS for that. That's where I would start, right? Daylight saving, you could blame that. But no, so rain not in the forecast here for the rest of the week. But I also see a bit of a humidity dip as well. Is it going to be more like those fall-like conditions here to round out the work week? It looks like beautiful sunny skies.
Yeah, when we say fall-like, it's not necessarily going to be those chilly overnight lows that we started the week off with. Your overnight lows do stay right around 60 degrees, which is closer to normal for this time of year, this late August, as we go throughout the last few days of August, honestly. So keeping an eye on that. Comfortable the next 2 days. Yes, Thursday, Friday, mostly sunny skies, highs in the upper 70s. Not sticky, but not necessarily dry dew points either. We stay right around 60 degrees. So it will feel like summer for the last couple days for you here. As we look towards the weekend, that humidity is back. The rain chances are back. I do think we have a better chance of seeing widespread rain on Sunday as it stands right now. So I'm hoping at least we can see some sunshine on Saturday and people can get outside and enjoy it.
Selfishly, I was going to ask Saturday. I've been checking the forecast. I have an outdoor wedding Saturday. So I was a little nervous with the rain, but you're kind of maybe making me feel a little bit better.
Where is the wedding?
It's in town here in Milwaukee.
Okay. As far as timing, we have to get a little bit closer. We're still, 4 days out from Saturday, so I don't have a great idea on timing, but I do think it looks more likely to interrupt our Sunday into Monday. So hopefully we can push those chances farther down.
Saturday's good.
All right. So, Lauren, what do you know about Thursday night's near total lunar eclipse? Is this going to be a thing that is visible in our area? Have you dove in on this? It looks exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. We should be able to see 96% of the moon blocked here Thursday night. Of course, that is if we have clear skies. And right now we are forecasting mostly clear skies overnight Thursday. So optimal viewing for that. You can expect to start to see the moon to maybe look a little bit darker around 8:24 to be exact. As you look closer to 9:30, that's when the actual eclipse starts. So that's when the shadow of the Earth will block the view of the moon. That happens, I guess, peak here in Milwaukee is 11:15-ish. So if you just want to get outside, get a good look at that, and then head back inside, 11:15 will be best for that Thursday night. And then the eclipse ends by about midnight.
Okay, well, I'll have to set an alarm to wake myself up.
Yeah, I think at that point. Too late. I'll be asleep.
That's after Seinfeld. When do we get into the point of like blood moon, harvest moon, wolf moon? I feel like all these crazy moons pop up back into summer and into fall, right? There's always some kind of new moon that we're checking out, and I always forget what each one of them does or represents.
Yeah, I hear you. Quick Google here. September So right now, this is August, obviously. The sturgeon moon is that's named. It's the harvest moon in September, the hunter's moon in October, and then the beaver moon in November.
Okay.
I don't know. Each one has its own story on why it's named that. Honestly, the full moon happens once a month, and that's all I'm paying attention to.
Yeah, totally get it. Good stuff, Lauren, here. We'll enjoy the sunshine here. Looks like a great end of the work week, and we'll talk to you again down the road.
Yeah, sounds good. Enjoy.
I appreciate it. It's 1:43 on WTMJ. Plenty of sunshine today and for the rest of the week.
Get your final August plans in for Brewers Rangers Action Friday, August 28th through Sunday the 30th. Starting with the Cole Swindell post-game concert at Country Music Night on Friday, featuring a belt buckle with a special ticket. Then it's Jackson Churio Mania. Get the Churio Bowl giveaway Saturday, courtesy of 620 WTMJ. And get it on the final Kids Cheer free Sunday before summer ends. Kids get a Churio Height poster on Sunday, courtesy of Joy. Get tickets for it all at brewers.com.
For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Greg Matzik here. If you got a busted garage door, don't let it get you down. Give my friends at Geist a call today. They have incredible inventory stocked floor to ceiling in that showroom in Brookfield right off Barker Road. Brands like CHI and LiftMaster trusted in this space and on site and ready to go for you. You could have a very quick turnaround time for your project due to the incredible inventory at Geist and their expertise. Doors and openers for every budget. They even have a custom design room, whatever it is to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, connect with Geist. Visit GeistDoors.com. And don't think twice. Call Geist.
At Erickson's Landscape Supply, we have durable, maintenance-free polywood patio furniture and #1 grade treated natural pine Amish-made patio furniture. And we also have a wonderful assortment of concrete benches, statues, and fountains available in a selection you just gotta see to believe. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less, plus a whole lot more. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection or stop on in today. He told us to load 4 yards into his 8-foot bed, but we knew that 3 full, honestly measured yards were going to fill his truck bed to the rim. After we proved that, he told us the other guys have been telling him he's been getting 4 yards in there for years. Honest measurements and honest folks who just want to do you right. So you come back. Erickson's Landscape Supply, high quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Just doing some roofing on another lovely Wisconsin day. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, it's just roofing done the old-fashioned way. Do you need shingles? Let's mingle, for a Wisconsin tradition never dwindles. So raise a glass, shake a hand for this old-fashioned brand. Whoop, that's old-fashioned roofing.
You might not think of Burkhart for corporate uniforms and other business apparel, but you should, because a lot of businesses do. And it's because most times we're cheaper than our competition on the same high-quality apparel choices that the other guys offer, plus Nike and Under Armour that the other guys can't get. So for businesses and corporations, if you want your employees to look great while representing your brand, and you want to get your apparel for less, you can't beat Burkhart, your business uniform specialists.
You can't beat Burkhart.
We've created a solid niche focused on helping family-owned businesses get the most out of their ad dollars and giving them a memorable brand that sells. Because a lot of family-owned businesses run like a top. It's just that not enough people know about it. And at least with our family-owned business clients, they take care of their customers. So before you choose a big box name, check out the family-owned business that does what they do better. And if you want better results for your family-owned business, go to Anderson-Smith.com and we'll be there to help in a hurry. As far as local advertising goes, who in this town has developed more long-lasting, successful on-air ad campaigns than Anderson Smith? No one. And that means quality, memorable branding that sustains and lasts and sells and grows as it grows your business. It means getting your best media buy. And it means getting more for your ad dollar and more back from it than you ever have. And when you give us a chance, we'll prove it to you. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Comfortable locations, comfortable people. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
All right, so Bill Gates is out with a 6,000-word essay warning that we're blowing it when it comes to the whole world of artificial intelligence. He has some concerns, and he spelled them out in this massive essay.
Bill Gates says the computer industry that he championed is now a global threat. Gates saying he's in a state of shock as to why there's not more urgency on AI. He says on Semaphore, self-regulation, championed by so many in the industry and the White House, is not working. And he'll gladly debate anyone opposing mandatory reviews of any AI system that could be weaponized to make new molecules and unleash a pandemic. Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
Well, never think about that again, right? The threat of bioterrorism and weaponized AI. Great. Thanks, Bill, for putting that in my head. But he does underscore some really interesting and I think salient points here. He explicitly states in the 6,000-word essay that the risk of AI-driven bioterrorism is 50 times more terrifying and likely than a natural pandemic. That all it takes is just a few bad actors to create something to help disrupt everything we're trying to do here, moving America forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you hear this too, coming from Bill Gates, who built his wealth on tech and is pioneer in this industry, to hear that he's got some pretty major concerns with where AI is currently and only where it's going to continue to go. I mean, it does make you listen a little bit.
Well, from a regulatory perspective, too, just think about how new AI is and how companies and governments and local leaders and you and I are trying to get our hands around what is this thing? What can I do with it? And we use it for work on occasion. Our company embraces the use of AI for certain things, and I have found it to be very helpful in the reasons I call upon artificial intelligence, mainly through ChatGPT, but there's so many other ways you can use AI for the positive and to make your life and work life more efficient. Well, Gates is demanding mandatory strict reviews for any AI system capable of generating these novel molecules. And he argues that self-regulation on the most dangerous tool ever invented, which is a strong quote, is insane. So that we could just self-regulate and trust each other not to create anything that could, destroy the world is not the way to go about it. And I think part of the advent of AI, while it's intriguing, it is so hard to wrap your arms around its capabilities that the technology is outpacing the regulation and the true understanding of its capabilities.
Well, and that's what I was going to kind of hit on. I mean, I feel like we continue to hear we need more regulations, there need to be more safeguards, but again, as it evolves so quickly, it's hard to kind of catch up, but then we just keep hearing, okay, this is what we need to do, and I don't know if we're able to keep up with some of that, so that is a tad concerning. And then even when it comes to data centers, we need these regulations, but they continue to move along and really nothing is getting done to get these safeguards in place.
Yeah, right. A lot of the frustration and discussion is around data centers and these massive swaths of land. I think before you know it, and before our time is done on this earth, Neil, I wouldn't be surprised if every individual house in a subdivision or a neighborhood has its own little data center attached to it, much like you see a Generac generator sort of freestanding next to a house out by the public utilities or the air conditioner system. There might be an individual little data center attached to your home, and these massive data centers that have been built may be obsolete. I could see that happening. But this is scary stuff, and Tech Titan is on the forefront of it. It is 1:52 on WTMJ, another Hollywood death of significance. We'll share details after this.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Hildebrand of Hildebrand Law Firm. Since 2001, we've proudly helped Milwaukee families and business owners protect what matters most. We combine the experience of a larger law firm with the personal attention you deserve. We take the time to listen, explain your options, and create a plan that's right for you. When the stakes are high, you need trusted legal advocates who will stand by your side every step of the way. Protect your family, your legacy, and your peace of mind. Visit hildebrandlawfirm.net to schedule a consultation today.
Well, get ready for a festival lineup like no other. It's called WinFest, and it's at Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee through September. Just play with your Potawatomi rewards card for entries. All monthly promo entries count toward the finale drawing. That'll be Friday, September 25th. Cars, vacations, free play, cash, all up for grabs and only at Potawatomi. More info is available online. Must be 21 years or older and a rewards member to play.
Summer is the time to enjoy the outside. Enjoy the deck, the patio, the fire pit, the shade, the screen room, the in-ground pool. Enjoy all of it in your own backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck with a custom screen room and automated pergola. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
The stories you're talking about on Wisconsin's Morning News.
As we saw in the last election, polls don't vote. Ultimately, people vote, and that's the only poll that really counts in the end. And we have to remember this about polls. It's a snapshot in time. Just because someone answered 3-4 weeks before an election, I'm likely to vote for this person, doesn't mean that in the 3-4 weeks later, that voter changed his or her mind. And that doesn't mean that the poll was wrong then. It was maybe right at the time.
Only here on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma sports station.
Well, they say Hollywood deaths happen in threes. The latest following yesterday's announced passing of Dolly Parton. Tim Curry, the English actor who became massively popular and a cult figure thanks to his performances in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Clue, and the TV miniseries It, has died at the age of 80.
I'm just a sweet transvestite.
He always played some interesting characters in the Rocky Horror Picture Show and other things. Tim Curry passed away peacefully at his home in Toluca Lake, Los Angeles. Cause of death has not yet been revealed. He was battling some health issues over the last several years. In 2012, Curry suffered a major stroke. He had been dealing with some issues ever since. So he was a classic character actor. He portrayed supercilious Brits, crafty villains, and so on, befuddled sidekicks. He is a face you would likely recognize if you didn't recognize the name. If you saw the face, you go, oh yeah, that guy. And he's a very popular figure, especially in the 80s.
First thing when I think of Tim Curry, again, I think Rocky Horror Picture Show is what most people know him from. I think Home Alone 2. He was in that movie.
Yes, that's right.
Was he like one of the hotel concierge people? Yeah, I think Home Alone 2 for Tim Curry. So sad to hear.
That is sad to hear, right? And of course, you've got the upcoming funeral here for Dolly Parton, which is expected to be a very small family, intimate gathering. The tributes pouring in for Dolly Parton, as you might expect. That news happened right around the time, about 1 o'clock or so yesterday. We were able to go with that as confirmed. But less than 24 hours later, flags now at half-staff, honoring the life of Dolly Parton. So many weighing in on her life. It is a bit of a thing, though. These things tend to happen in threes. So wonder how Hollywood reacts to that, right? It's like, oh, man, I mean, you definitely don't want to be the third here. But kind of a sad week here with Dolly Parton passing away and now Tim Curry passing away at the age of 80. It's 1:56 on WTMJ. Wisconsin's Midday News podcast is built by Siding Unlimited. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can find us. Also, a reminder, we are on YouTube. So whenever or wherever you're listening, you can check us out on our YouTube page. Watch the show, see what's happening in the studio, comment along with us, search 620 WTMJ on YouTube, and subscribe. Find us, Wisconsin's Midday News.
Market swings can feel very different when you're close to retirement. Hi, I'm Tony Drake, Certified Financial Planner and founder of Drake & Associates right here in Wisconsin. When you're younger, volatility is often something you ride out over time. But as retirement approaches, big market drops can have a much bigger impact on your long-term plan. That's why many retirees need a different investment approach, one that balances growth with protection and provides income even when markets are unpredictable. At Drake & Associates, we help families design diversified strategies intended to help manage risk while still giving your money the opportunity to grow. My complimentary retirement toolkit walks through how thoughtful investment planning can help you stay confident during uncertain markets. You'll receive a copy of my book, Get Retirement Ready, along with 5 guides covering income planning, taxes, and smart investing. Call 414-897-9522 or text RISK to 414-897-9522 for your no-cost toolkit. That's 414-897-9522 or text the word RISK to 414-897-9522. Because the goal isn't just growing your money, it's protecting the retirement you've worked for.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed
Struggling to provide for your family is a real thing, like having to choose between feeding them a warm meal or paying the utility bill. These are the choices many Milwaukee residents are faced with, which is why they turn to St. Vincent de Paul Society's meal program for help. Our meal program has been a consistent resource for those in need for over 42 years. Nutritious meals, warm showers, and clean clothes, all in a safe, family-friendly environment. Our mission is clear, and that's to help you break the cycle of poverty by connecting you with life-changing community and educational resources. Last year, we provided $2.2 million in goods and services, plus 57,000 warm meals. If you or anyone you know needs a warm evening meal, you can find us at Harambe Kitchen 5 nights a week on the northeast side of Milwaukee in the basement of All People's Church. And at Crossroads Kitchen on the south side of Milwaukee 6 nights a week on 9th and Madison. As always, we're grateful for community members and volunteers who help us help you. To learn more, visit svdpmilw.org. The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
The lights get bright in New York, but this crew belongs on center stage.
Start spread. Here's the 2-2. And Jake, a fly ball to center. Harris is back. Harris at the track, looking up. It is gone! Jake Bowers with one of the at-bats of the year.
The Brewers head to New York to take on the Mets. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:35 on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, August 26th. Your top story, employees resign after mishandling a 911 call.
I'm Neil Doyle in for Jessica Ty. Closing arguments in the Lindsay Clancy trial.
Sun is out, high 83 degrees today, little on the muggy side. Feels like summer, mostly clear tonight, low 63. Sun returns on Thursday with a high of 78. Same deal on Friday. 81 and sunny in Milwaukee at 2 o'clock. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, City of Milwaukee employees resign after mishandling a 911 call that left a 99-year-old woman severely injured. It took almost 3 hours for help to arrive after the woman made the call July 27th. City of Milwaukee Department of Emergency Communications Director Tony Bueno.
2 call takers have resigned their position. They've separated from employment with the department. With respect to the dispatcher involved, our investigation did not establish that dispatcher violated DEC policy or procedures. That employee will, however, receive additional training.
Bueno did not provide additional information into how the delay in help occurred. On the advice of the city attorney, Joseph Macias has pled not guilty by reason of insanity or mental defect to 3 felony charges of battery, first-degree reckless injury, and burglary in this case.
A suspended Milwaukee police detective pleads not guilty to misusing the department's flock license plate tracking system. 51-year-old Taranji Chapman faces 1 count of felony misconduct in office for allegedly conducting 20 total illegal searches over 6 years. Chapman claimed the searches were for training purposes. The case came to light during the investigation into former Milwaukee police officer Josue Ayala, who was convicted in July of similar charges.
An apology from the mayor of New Berlin. It comes after Mayor Dave Ament posted anti-Muslim videos on social media in recent weeks. During last night's Common Council meeting, the mayor says he takes full responsibility.
For this, I am sincerely sorry for the divisions and the hurt I have caused many of you and in our community. I accept the criticism of me personally, as my actions have needlessly intensified them.
The New Berlin Common Council unanimously passed a resolution condemning the mayor's posts.
Closing arguments set to begin in the Lindsay Clancy trial. Clancy facing 3 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of her 3 children. Her lawyers say that she doesn't dispute killing them, but says she was suffering from postpartum psychosis and isn't criminally responsible for the deaths. On the final day of testimony, the prosecution asked forensic psychiatrist Dr. Gregory Sathoff if Clancy was able to distinguish between right and wrong on the day of the murders.
My opinion is that she did have the capacity to appreciate right from wrong.
Dr. Sathoff spent about 11 hours interviewing Clancy.
The famous goddaughter of late superstar Dolly Parton taking to social media to share memories. News Nation's Nicole Burley.
Singer Miley Cyrus posting on Instagram, quote, "The feeling of losing my Aunt Dolly is beyond what feels right to share. Our most sacred moments were private, and they'll stay there behind the stage, beneath the glamour, and between our hearts. Miley goes on to say, I will always love her and want to make her proud. We're in this loss together, and we will see her in all of the most beautiful things.
Parton died yesterday after a brief battle with cancer at the age of 80. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow's trying to fight back here, still down about 70 points at 53,505. The NASDAQ has flipped the script here, now up 25 points at 26,177. And the S&P up about 10 today at 7688. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 2:04.
As the kiddos get ready to get back to school, you can find really great back-to-school savings at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. School supplies and some surprisingly cool clothing too. And teachers, you get an additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
It's ESP Wisconsin's Ben Bruss here for Road America, America's National Park of Speed. Get out of the house this summer and enjoy a great weekend at Road America, located conveniently between Milwaukee and Green Bay in Elkhart Lake. This legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course has been hosting the world's best racers since 1955. Bring the whole family. Kids 16 and under get in free with a paying adult at the gate. Camp on site, explore the grounds, and take in racing your way. It's more than a race, it's a full-day experience. GT World Challenge is up next, coming to Road America August 28th through the 30th. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, Old Fashioned Roofing and Trees on the Move. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. A crowded practice field in Green Bay with the Packers and Cardinals joining forces today. Packers safety Xavier McKinney believes joint practices and playing in the preseason both valuable to being ready for the regular season.
Just kind of getting that feel of the game, feeling the real speed of the game. Is, I think it's good for the team. I think it's good for the guys, just so when we actually start the season, we start the first game, it's not our first time of full live action. I think it's good for us, and I think it gets us prepared to where we need to be for week 1.
Packers and Cardinals wrap up the preseason Friday night at Lambeau. Missed opportunities haunt the Brewers in a 3-2 10-inning loss to the Mets on Tuesday. Rookie shortstop Cooper Pratt pulled from the game for not hustling following a bloop single.
Got to be better. Stuff that can't happen. It's not winning baseball. Didn't help the team win. And it won't happen again, that's for sure.
Brewers begin the day with a 5.5-game lead over the Cubs for first place in the NL Central. Dustin May will start tonight in Game 2. Coverage begins at 5:35.
Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. Some typical slowdowns near the ballpark, both east and westbound on 94. Tapping the brakes a bit between 35th and Hawley. Really nothing out of the ordinary there. Otherwise, everything else, no other major incidents to report.
Traffic is sponsored by Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee. Design Exchange is where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at 25 to 40% off retail prices in Heartland and Pewaukee.
From TMJ4, I'm meteorologist Lauren Larson with your 5-day Storm Team forecast. We have mostly clear conditions as our temperatures fall to the low 60s overnight, And then we're back to some sunshine for Thursday. Highs in the upper 70s and lower dew points. Rinse and repeat for Friday. Mostly sunny skies, low dew points, and comfortable temperatures reaching the upper 70s. As we get into this weekend, the humidity is back, and so are the storm chances. A chance for some storms on Saturday, and rain is likely on Sunday. Remember, your latest weather updates are always available at TMJ4.com. I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist Lauren Larson.
It is 81 degrees, mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 2:08.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik, and in for Jessica Ty, it's Neil Doyle.
Looks like joint practices are wrapping up in Green Bay. No fights. Yeah, no fights. And it seems like a common thing when you get two teams, right? You want to hit somebody else, great, and some kind of fight breaks out and everybody gets mad. It doesn't appear to have happened today in Green Bay.
I kept checking Twitter. It seemed pretty cordial between the two sides.
I think that was part of the discussion going into this. And, of course, you got brothers as the head coaches of each team. And, well, they're going to have dinner tonight, so you want to make sure you're having a pleasant conversation around the dinner table at the LaFleur household. Packers and Cardinals wrapping up joint practice today, and we'll wrap up the preseason Friday night at Lambeau.
Here's your top 2 at 2 on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Deadly flash flooding and mudslides in Nepal, killing scores of people and leaving hundreds of others missing, including 3 Americans. Now, the death toll is on its way up, according to officials. More from ABC's Lama Hassan at the foreign desk.
Where this took place near the border with China is a popular destination with tourists. And according to the Nepalese Tourism Board, nearly 400 tourists are missing. The army has urged people to remain on high alert and to stay in safe places.
It's another one of those stories where I can tell you this is deadly and how devastating it is. And then you watch the video and just see it. Right? I mean, these are the mountains of Nepal near the border of China. And in the valley of these mountains are buildings, schools, structures, and a river that runs sort of through the community. Those neighborhoods are gone. Yeah. It started as an avalanche, and it reached the water, and then it turned into flooding because of the avalanche. Like, just an absolute catastrophic situation playing out in a very popular tourist area of Nepal.
Yeah, the images and videos, very disturbing. Crazy to see.
Just completely wiped out these buildings. My goodness. So there is fear that the death toll is going to rise. The amount missing is only going to rise. Already, the Nepalese Tourism Board says nearly 400 tourists are missing. 3 American tourists have died, according to reports from overseas. And this is sort of just the beginning. Unfortunately, repairing that community will be incredibly difficult and take quite a bit of time, but a horrific natural disaster in Nepal.
The sudden closure of a Wisconsin nonprofit now prompting a bit of a broader look at how state government oversees organizations receiving millions of dollars in taxpayer funding. So this was all part of the legislators' joint audit committee, and they have now approved an audit of Wisconsin's community action agencies, and this all follows the closure of NewCap. This was a nonprofit, served communities up in the northeastern part of the state, and it abruptly shut down and filed for bankruptcy back in March. Now, during this committee hearing, former NewCap executive Carrie Hill telling lawmakers the consequences of that closure extending well beyond the organization.
More than 100 employees suddenly lost their jobs. Small businesses and local contractors were left with substantial unpaid balances, and landlords were left months behind on rental payments.
Hill also testifying that NewCap now reportedly owes about $4 million to roughly 200 different businesses, also individuals. And she raised some concerns, allegations involving spending practices, conflicts of interest, other financial oversight. And the hearing also exposed a bit of a potential gap in the system. Individual state agencies generally only kind of monitor their own programs and the taxpayer dollars they're getting, maybe not the entire entity and kind of the organization as a whole. And we heard from Department of Administration Secretary Kathy Blumenfeld.
It is a challenge to understand the totality of a going concern, and that's really the job of the board, right? Looking at the total governance of the entire operation.
So that's now one of the questions that the Legislative Audit Bureau is going to examine. The committee also approving separate audits for the state's food share program, also the Department of Administration's management of the state building program. So committee very active this week, issuing several different audits for some different state agencies.
It's 2:13 here on WTMJ.
Bring us your problems, deadlines, complexities, anxieties, distractions, and budget distresses.
Plum Media is listening.
Share with us your creative block.
Plum Media is ready.
Give us your audience with limited time and attention.
Plum Media sets your message free.
Let's get your message heard. Let's strive for retention from beginning to completion. Whether your next event is for celebration, education, motivation, inspiration, Plum Media is waiting to take action.
Professional collaborators, planners, managers. Plum Media, video production and event management.
Plum Media, wow moments, flawless execution, clarity, calm, control.
And results.
Plum Media, a video, meetings, and event producer with global experience. PlumMedia.com.
The lights get bright in New York, but this crew belongs on center stage.
Start spread.
Here's the 2-2. And Jake, a fly ball to center. Harris is back. Harris at the track, looking up. It is gone! Jake Bowers with one of the at-bats of the year.
The Brewers head to New York to take on the Mets. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 5:35. Don't miss a pitch on the home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
Trees on the Move, offering ideas for outdoor living and beautifying with landscape consultation, design, and installation, including retaining walls, paved patios, tree trimming, and more. Trees on the Move's been offering landscape services for over 47 years and now offers stamped and colored concrete drives, patios, and sidewalks. Beautify your yard this year with Trees on the Move. TreesOnTheMove.com.
From planning to planting, Trees on the Move.
Well, sunny and warm today, high 83 degrees, overnight low 62. Thursday and Friday look fantastic with temperatures right around 80 degrees and plenty of sunshine. Next chance of rain appears to be on Saturday, maybe better chance on Sunday as it looks right now. It's 81 right now, mostly sunny in Milwaukee at 2:15. July 27th, a 99-year-old Milwaukee woman was brutally beaten inside of her South Side home. This happened near 14th and Layton, resulting in severe injuries, including a twice-broken jaw. Emergency responders took nearly 3 hours to arrive after the initial emergency alert. So the forced entry happened about 4:45 in the morning. 23-year-old Joseph Macias pounded on the door, broke his way into the victim's home. And the first 911 call was actually through a third-party medical alert company, something called Life Alert. So it triggered the call to Milwaukee City dispatchers, and it was ultimately misclassified as a low-priority welfare check instead of a battery or break-in. A second call from the medical alert company went out, and it actually patched in live audio from the home in which you could hear the 99-year-old victim screaming for help. The third call came from the 99-year-old victim, who miraculously was able to get to a phone and call 911 at about 8 a.m., saying that she had been attacked, finally prompting a police and EMS response. What happened here? Where was the systematic breakdown and failure? Well, a hearing was held earlier today to walk through the details, and the folks on the local side are admitting to some systematic failures in the operation. You also have some suspensions and firings to go along with this. Nazir Spencer of WTMJ was at that hearing earlier today. Main takeaways here, Nazir. Is systematic failure or any sort of accountability being acquiesced to here by the group?
So there is a lot of accountability that they acknowledged during this pressing, but they did not specifically use the word a systematic failure, but Director Tony Bueno acknowledged the department failed to meet its own standards and said leadership needs to look at the broader lessons from what happened.
We obviously didn't meet what we set out to do in our mission, vision, and values, but we committed ourselves to some of our core values, among them accountability and excellence.
Now, he talked a lot about the training, and, the news really today was the 2 call takers were resigned from their positions after the incident, and the dispatcher is still employed with the DEC, the Department of Emergency Communications, but will be trained more in the future to avoid any other situation like this from occurring. And that dispatcher and call taker are different positions, so some standard procedures may be different, but that was not verified to the reporters present today, and no details or list of the policies changes were given.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part, because this is obviously a disturbing story. And so wanting to maybe hear, and again, kind of differentiating the difference between dispatcher and call taker, they could have maybe done that a little bit more, but not really stating if any policies were changing. I mean, not much was really said.
Yeah, really today was just talking about their training and how extensive they put in, the extensive work they put into this training, which is great. But we really want to know, keep transparency with the people about this incident, because it's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that we don't see. And we really wanted to know what happened during this day. And we really tried to press them a little bit with that, but they were unable to take those questions.
So a bit of a lack of transparency is kind of what we're seeing here. You do have a couple of resignations, dispatcher retraining. I also wonder about policy reforms here, Nazir. And if it was brought up, you've got your kind of standard operating procedure in protocols, but I also wonder about, from a supervisory perspective, where's a supervisor? I know it's the wee hours of the morning. I get it. It's 4:45 when that first call comes in, or about 5 o'clock in the morning. But from a supervisor standpoint, how does it even get to this point?
And that was my main question. I wanted to know if this was an individual, a team incident, a supervisor incident. I wanted to know what happened? Who is all involved in the situation outside of those 3 employees? Because I know there has to be some type of supervision. But again, they talked about reviewing training, operational procedures, and standards, which we don't know which standards or procedures that they disobeyed in that instance. But they did not specifically announce an overhaul of supervisory oversight or anything like that, or explain whether supervisors were disciplined or involved in the incident.
And that's concerning, because I think these are questions that people have. I mean, we have them. I think some in the public would as well. I understand this department, they had to do their investigation. The city's obviously involved with this as well. Mm-hmm. And they called this press briefing. They called it, Greg, and they said, okay, we're going to give you what we have in our investigation. And then when the questions wanted to start rolling out, they took 2 of them and then said, okay, that's it.
Yeah, they took 2 questions, and we kind of just kept pressing him about it. And we wanted to know, well, can we get these answers? When can we get these answers? Eventually, one of the DEC employees, they said, well, we can email you what we have and you can answer these questions. But, in a timely manner, they said that they could do that, by the way. And I asked a question, okay, what does timely mean? Because we don't really have that much information now. How do we know that we're going to be able to get that in the future? And she said she didn't have a timeline. So,
well worth pointing out, Neil, that the City of Milwaukee Department of Emergency Communications completed their internal investigation, and they called for this press conference this morning.
Yeah.
And you're saying they answered 2 questions and then left the room.
And then cut us off as we continue to push for some transparency.
So could this have been sent in an email?
I think so. I think this could have been.
But that's concerning, because I think, again, this is a very disturbing incident, and there are more questions that probably need to be answered, but that didn't really happen today.
Now, there probably is some stuff behind the scenes with the city that maybe they can't release yet, which I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
And I do believe Director Tony Bueno said, on the advice of the city attorney's office, there are certain things, because, look, this is an investigation. There are now charges stemming from this, that the city attorney, I think, did come out and say, look, there are certain things that can't be said, which is understandable. But, it seemed like the transparency maybe could have been a little more forthcoming today.
Yeah, I agree.
In any point of this conference, Nazir, was the victim mentioned?
No, no victim was mentioned whatsoever. It was mainly about the training and about, just they also talked about this. They're pursuing two outside accreditations that they, even though they claim they already exceed the expectations of these 2 editions. So they really only talked about the training and, what happens in between and the everyday life of these people doing these calls and dispatching. So there was a lot of defending on that part, but no mention of the victim.
So better training is being promised here, a training overhaul, a review of standard operating procedure, yada, yada, yada is kind of what it is, right? You had a botched 911 call here and a botched news conference on top of it. That's my assessment of the situation. They screwed it up at the beginning, and they screwed it up when they tried to understand or let people understand what their internal investigation revealed.
Absolutely. And maybe we will get these answers in an email, but I really wish that we were able to kind of get down to business today and answer some of these questions that maybe the public even has as well.
Well, direct your complaints and questions to the City of Milwaukee Department of Emergency Communications. They botched it from the start. It's 2:23.
Accident Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wicker, Chief Homebuyer Helper with Wisconsin's own Accident Mortgage. Nicer homes are still getting multiple offers over asking, and there's only one winner per listing. I want to help you be that winner, which is why I just increased the rock-solid pre-approval guarantee to $10,000. It's all about getting the seller to pick your offer over the others. So AccuNet is now guaranteeing in writing to pay the seller $10,000 American bucks if we can't make good on the terms of your fully verified rock-solid pre-approval. Banks don't do that. We're willing to stand behind our work and stand behind you with a $10,000 guarantee that sellers will definitely notice. Maybe you've been writing offers and losing, which feels terrible, or maybe you're just starting out. Either way, don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval and let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Give the seller 10,000 reasons to say yes to your offer with AccuNet's new $10,000 rock-solid seller guarantee. Get started with yours today at accunet.com.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Appliance Gallery, right on Wisconsin Avenue in Milwaukee. Their gorgeous showroom is the most up-to-date in our state, featuring luxury brands like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Miele, Fisher & Paykel, and more. They'll work right with your contractor designer and make the process seamless. They even offer brands where you can choose from custom colors. As a small family-owned company with one location, they deliver impeccable service with a personal touch. Visit ApplianceGalleryWY.com or stop in today.
Abby Window.
Have you been thinking about new windows? If you're having a hard time operating them, feeling air coming through, or feel your energy bills are too high, now is the time to call Abby Home. We're celebrating 16 years in business, so we're having our anniversary sale. Right now, get a free triple pane upgrade on all windows. A free triple pane upgrade on all windows. And if somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl. Go to abbyhome.com today or give us a call, 414-436-ABBY, 414-436-2229.
Greg and Neil with you till 3 o'clock. It's a smaller story, Neil, but one I'm sure you've been following here. A record-setting robot at the World Humanoid Robot Games in Beijing. In Olympic-style competition featuring more than 1,300 contests with more than 2,000 robots from 16 countries. I don't know if they had an opening ceremonies or if there would be closing ceremonies. Most of these robots hail from China, for what it's worth, but ABC's Britt Clement is there. 51 events, including running, long jump, table tennis, ballroom dancing, and various household tasks, even hotel services and emergency response. That'll be interesting. The game's now in its second year.
It is a really lively, occasionally chaotic, but impressive event, especially when one robot sprinter clocked 100 meters in 9.39 seconds in an opening heat. It's faster than Usain Bolt's 9.59 world record. So compared to last year, the robots are performing much better, and it is a visible indicator of just how quick this tech is advancing.
You can hear whistles and you can hear people in the background cheering the competition, right? Do the robots really know what's going on here? I did see one robot running in a race. It got to the finish line and it's like robot legs were going in 3 different directions, and then it bonked, and all of a sudden you saw sparks, and they had to get the thing off the track expeditiously. But apparently one was able to clock 9.39 in the 100. That's quite the accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, is this all to, I mean, they're doing, like you said, everyday tasks. Ballroom dancing stood out to me. Is this just to, companies are, all right, let's get these things ready, and then we'll just start rolling them out. People can bring them into their homes if they need help. Do things around the house. I mean, I think that's where this is probably going.
I am down to have a robot folding laundry thing in my house. I'm down for that. I like that idea of somebody just handling the laundry. Keep the robot in the laundry room. You just do laundry. That's it. That's all it wants you to do. Program it accordingly. Fold it. Bring it back to my room. I'll even put the clothes away. A robot to handle laundry. I can get down with it.
It's worth the investment.
Coming up on 228 here on WTMJ News, right around the corner.
It's summer now, but you know what's coming down the pike? Yup, cold weather and high heating bills. Gene Miller here, and now is a great time to order new windows from my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. With national brands like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, and Softlight, Hometown can offer replacement windows that fit every home, style, and budget. Whether you're looking for wood, Fibrex, fiberglass, or vinyl, Hometown has a product for you. August is Marvin month. Call or stop in to win a Yeti cooler. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. Visit hometownwindows.com today.
Many people feeling close to retirement ask themselves, do I have enough?
Am I missing something?
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, we provide clarity during our complimentary, no-pressure consultation. We're independent advisors using big firm tools with a boutique-style approach.
And no crickets. We stay in touch so you're never left wondering.
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, let us show you how to capture the upside, limit the downside, and feel good inside.
Visit dwstrategies.com.
Securities and investment services offered through Mosaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
Trying to keep up with the 21st century can really get you down.
When you need a break, come to Kessler's.
We'll turn your day around.
We have good air conditioning.
And we love making new friends.
The coffee's better than average.
Because we want you to come back again.
We want to be your jeweler.
My father told you for 29 years that he wanted to be your jeweler.
He put that desire in everyone he hired.
And then he gave us the company.
He transformed our lives and gave us the most fun job on earth.
It's easy to sell jewelry when you sell it for less than it's worth.
Come and take a look at our engagement rings.
And of course, we have thousands of other things.
When you're having an overcast day, come to Kessler's.
We're going to turn your day around.
Free jewelry cleaning done by world-class professionals.
While you drink your good coffee in a room full of diamonds and gold.
Makes you feel better, no matter what you've been told.
One thing you definitely want to see before you're done
is our exclusive Kessler 81.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
It's the most wonderful time of year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, and more at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
It's 2:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, August 26th. Your top story, evacuations in northern Wisconsin.
I'm Neil Doyle, pleading not guilty in the death of a toddler.
Sunny today, clear tonight, low 63 degrees, mostly sunny on Thursday. Humidity takes a bit of a downturn and a high of 77, could crack 80 inland. Sunny and comfortable on Friday, 77 near the lake, 80 degrees inland.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. A court hearing set for tomorrow for the Kennedy Center's fate. New court filings by the Justice Department claiming the performing arts facility could face financial fallout and structural decline if a judge blocks renovation plans and Donald Trump's name is not allowed on the facade. ABC's Catherine Falder says more.
The Justice Department argues that that actually has benefited the Kennedy Center, Trump's name on the outside of the building, despite reporting from the Washington Post that actually has reported that ticket sales have been down. I'm sure the judge will have questions about that as well.
Brian Kohberger granted a new hearing in his bid to reverse his guilty plea in the stabbing murders of 4 Idaho college students in 2022. Kohberger initially said he was innocent, but admitted to the killings and pleaded guilty in July 2025. He's serving 4 consecutive life sentences. A judge setting a new hearing for June of next year. On Wall Street this hour, stocks are mixed in afternoon trading. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:31. A natural gas leak at a highly controversial pipeline project in northern Wisconsin prompts evacuations.
A section of the Enbridge Line 5 pipeline in Saxon-Iron County began leaking natural gas liquids after an unoccupied semi-truck rolled into an open excavation site on Tuesday. The sheriff's office says no one was injured, and the pipeline and power in the area remain shut down as Enbridge crews work to repair the damage. Wisconsin hazmat teams are on site to monitor air quality. It's unclear how much gas was released. The ongoing Line 5 reroute project is the subject of multiple lawsuits over its trespassing on tribal lands and environmental concerns. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A hearing is set to review the conditional release for Slenderman stabber Morgan Geyser.
Geyser's defense attorney has filed another petition seeking her release after she escaped her group home in 2025. Then 12-year-old Morgan Geyser pled not guilty by mental disease in the stabbing of her classmate Peyton Leitner to appease the fictional character Slenderman in 2014. Geyser was committed to a psychiatric hospital in 2019, which she escaped by removing her ankle monitor in November 2025. She was returned to Wisconsin and her conditional release was revoked. Her hearing has been set for next Thursday, September 3rd. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Man accused of killing his girlfriend's toddler pleads not guilty. 28-year-old Jordan Keith charged with first-degree reckless homicide in the death of 1-year-old Joriel Ramirez Rodriguez. Police say the child's injuries were consistent with signs of child abuse. Prosecutors allege that Keith was home alone with the child before the mother found the toddler unresponsive and not breathing. If convicted, Keith faces up to 60 years in prison.
Of the multi-billion-dollar settlement with Meta, Wisconsin will receive $219 million for programs to support kids' mental health. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Call says more important than the money are the sweeping changes Meta will be forced to make on its social media apps.
These changes are not only going to help reduce harms for kids' mental health online, but I hope they can set a new standard for the entire industry so that kids who are using social media can stay safe and remain healthy as they're online. We want to see this agreement prompt other companies to make similar changes.
The changes, which include stronger age verification, time limits, and mandatory pauses to prevent doom scrolling, could take effect as soon as 2 months after the settlement is approved by the courts.
A new Marquette Law School poll shows Democrat David Crowley slightly ahead in the polls, leading Republican Tom Tiffany 49 to 44% among likely voters. However, director of the Marquette Law Poll, Dr. Charles Franklin, says among registered voters, it's a deadlock.
What if you look at all registered voters, not just those certain to vote, but registered? And so here's that one. And it's a tie, 44 apiece among registered voters. So
Crowley's lead comes from strong support among independent voters, 55% compared to 16% for Tiffany.
Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 2:34.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for Jens Family Chiropractic in Germantown. Have you been dealing with nagging low back pain, sciatica, numbness, tingling? At Jens Family Chiropractic, they offer non-surgical spinal decompression. I'm getting that done right now on my neck. It's a gentle, targeted therapy designed to reduce pressure on irritated discs and nerves to help your spine recover. I feel so much better. Spinal decompression may be the best option for people struggling with disc problems or chronic neck and low back pain, especially when the same old treatments have not provided the relief that you're looking for. There are no injections, no surgery, and treatments are customized to you. Stop letting back pain dictate what you can and cannot do. Head to jensfamilychiropractic.com to schedule your consultation. That's YENTZ familychiropractic.com to find out if non-surgical spinal decompression is right for you as it has been for me. Head to jensfamilychiropractic.com.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog! Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The NFL continues to investigate a May domestic disturbance incident involving Packers running back Josh Jacobs. Though no formal criminal charges have been filed, Packers GM Brian Gutekunst believes the team is equipped to handle a possible suspension.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident we can sustain it. That doesn't mean we wouldn't do that, but yeah, we'll deal with that when that comes. But we've obviously been, preparing for that in case that happens. But at the same time, I feel really good about the guys we got in that room, and I think we could survive that.
Jacobs also battling a groin injury, but is on track to begin the regular season as the Packers lead back. Dustin May on the mound for the Brewers tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game series against the Mets in New York. Relievers Abner Uribe and Jojo Romero working through rehab assignments with the Brewers Class A affiliate. Romero acquired from the Cardinals just before the trade deadline. Coverage of tonight's game gets underway at 5:35.
Take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic. Starting to see volume pick up a little bit. In particular, some of our work zones. Still seeing tapping of the brakes. 94 east and westbound as you make your way through the stadium interchange. So right there between 35th and Hawley. And also starting to see a little bit of heavier volume. 41 northbound as you hit Capitol Drive. Seeing a bit of a slowdown until you get past Silver Spring. Otherwise, no other incidents. Things looking okay.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
From TMJ4, I'm meteorologist Lauren Larson with your 5-day Storm Team forecast. We have mostly clear conditions as our temperatures fall to the low 60s overnight, and then we're back to some sunshine for Thursday. Highs in the upper 70s and lower dew points. Rinse and repeat for Friday. Mostly sunny skies, low dew points, and comfortable temperatures reaching the upper 70s. As we get into this weekend, the humidity is back, and so are the storm chances. A chance for some storms on Saturday, and rain is likely on Sunday. Remember, your latest weather updates are always available at TMJ4.com. I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist Lauren Larson.
It's 81 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 2:39.
Well, I know we have a lot of sports fans tuning in. Greg, you're a sports fan. I love my sports.
You got that right.
Now, if you're a fan that maybe likes to gamble a little bit, place a wager, you might be asking yourself, when is the online sports betting going to be legal? And now this creates a whole nother caveat because some might say, well, technically you can, but legally online sports betting is still not available yet in the state. Now, Governor Evers signed a bill, this was back in April, that basically allowed the tribal casinos within the state to offer online sports betting. And that started a whole process. I think some people thought, okay, the governor signed it, it's good to go. I can log into my phone, I can download the Potawatomi app, and I can start placing bets. That's not the case. It started this other huge process, basically, where the governor has to then meet with all the different tribes and the leaders to then renegotiate. There are these gaming compacts that the state has with the tribes to offer gambling, whether that's at the casino, through sports, so on and so forth. So that needs to be renegotiated, and those talks are happening. The governor has met with the tribes. And then that has to be sent off to the federal government. It needs approval there. And this is all because they're using this hub and spoke model, again, allowing the tribes to basically control the online sports betting here in the state. And there's only one other state that's done that. That's Florida. Many of these other states are neighbors. They allow DraftKings, these commercial operators, but that's not what Wisconsin is doing. So that's kind of where things stand with online sports betting through the casinos. I mean, this has been a bit of a process. It's still not available yet. And then that now leads us to, though, some other issues. There are now some legal challenges to the online sports betting that was passed here in Wisconsin. The Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, they filed suit saying, look, being able to offer online sports betting, it goes against the state constitution. So they have filed a suit. They're asking a judge to stop any implementation of online sports betting. So this, hub and spoke tribal model hasn't even been launched, and it's already facing a legal challenge, which I think some thought certainly was going to be the case. So that's kind of the traditional, and again, online sports betting that can be offered through the tribes. That's where that stands. But then there's the confusing part of these prediction markets, which there are a whole nother suit of legal challenges around that.
So it is like three separate things almost. And I'm not sure exactly why these are three separate things, but they are three separate things, and there are loopholes to making these three separate things. So you've got Potawatomi, right? At long last, they can open up a sports book. As of a couple of years ago, everything was put in place. You can go to Potawatomi. You can use their self-serve kiosks. You can go to the window. You can make your bet in the sports book, just like you would if you were in Las Vegas.
Correct.
But you can't do it online. You can't do it through an app on your phone. And that is exactly what the folks at Potawatomi, Ho-Chunk Nation, and so on are fighting for. Because meanwhile, while you can't go to the Potawatomi app and make those bets, you got to go to the physical location and do it. You do have something called Underdog Fantasy, which is a daily fantasy site. And if I look at it today, I could bet on the over-under of number of hits for the Brewers in their game against the Mets. I could put as much money as I want on it, and I could be paid if I win. I can do that on my phone. And then there's Kalshi, which is part of this prediction market that you were referencing, which is a whole nother ball of wax. But it doesn't feel like any of this should be legal if Potawatomi's online sports betting is not legal. So that is the big question I think so many have. Well, why can I do Underdog Fantasy and why can I do Kalshi and not have a Potawatomi app where I could make a sports bet?
Well, and going to the daily fantasy, the Underdog, the Prize Picks, yeah, that's another interesting one. And kind of how, I guess you could say they're getting away with it. Those operators, they distinguish, look, we offer daily fantasy contests. You know, there's no skill involved as opposed to traditional sports betting, you know,
so
because
they're a game of skill versus game of chance.
Correct.
Right?
And that's how they get away with it. And that's why apps like that have been offered here in the state. Now you go to the prediction markets, which are somewhat similar. Now, how they're kind of getting away with it across the nation is they determine, look, we offer these event contracts. Basically, you're saying yes or no, this is going to happen. But now it's delved into sports they've offered. They're offering bets on politics. Everyday events. You can bet if it's going to rain on some of these sites like Kalshi. And they get away with it again because it's managed federally. The Federal Trading Commission and the Futures Trading Commission, they are saying, look, Congress gave us the approval to oversee these companies that offer these prediction markets. And because it's being allowed through Congress, it can be offered nationwide. Now, Wisconsin, they do not agree with that. And here's Attorney General Josh Call.
You can, on those prediction markets, purchase what they call an event contract. And what we allege here is that the event contracts on sporting events are indistinguishable legally or practically, for that matter, from sports betting and constitute sports betting under Wisconsin law.
So this was, I think, over a month ago now. Josh Call and the DOJ here in the state, they are suing Kalshi, Polymarket, all these other prediction markets, saying, look, you're basically offering online sports betting, and that's not legal right now. Sure, we did legalize it, but it's only through the tribes. We want our tribal casinos to be able to offer this, not these other sites. So there's all these now lawsuits. One of these companies, Novig, which I had not really heard of, I guess they're kind of a prediction market involved with some of these others. They're now trying to sue the state saying, look, you can't block us from offering these different markets. So it's creating a kind of a bit of a headache. And all of this, again, as the state is trying to get what they approved, what the governor signed, this legal online sports betting through the tribes, that process is still going on. And now you've got all these other things kind of weighing in as well. So it's complicated, to say the least.
Well, Kalshi, Underdog, Prize Picks, DraftKings, you name it, right? They are a product that is, I guess, non-traditional in terms of being a sports book, right? In other words, they don't have to wait for a tribal sports book infrastructure to roll out to be up and running in the state of Wisconsin, because Wisconsin's sports betting landscape is strictly regulated and tied to these tribal gaming compacts that you talked about. And Governor Evers signed an Assembly Bill 601 to legalize statewide mobile sports books. However, they're not yet live because the individual tribal compacts and tech infrastructure need to be approved first. So I also do wonder, you mentioned what Call is doing, but we'll have a new governor here in the state of Wisconsin in November, and it's not likely that this will all be resolved before then. So either Tom Tiffany or David Crawley is either going to have to, pick it up and take it forward, or re-examine and try and figure out what direction to go here. But I know this is something that really aggravates the tribal gaming folks, because they've got it. They've got the technology. All they need to do is get the green light, and they'll move forward with what they think they should have to run up against competition with these others.
And it is interesting because I've talked to those who cover kind of the sports betting scene nationally, and they're like, look, I think they'll get this rolling. Governor Evers, he's the one who signed it. Would he want to get it done on his watch before he's out of office, but at the pace it's going. And then the other caveat, again, with these prediction markets, which are federally regulated, but again, the state doesn't see it that way because they're offering basically sports betting on their apps. For Wisconsin to get online sports betting through the tribes, it does have to get approved federally.
Yeah.
And now you've got the state basically suing these companies and to a degree suing the federal government because they're allowing these to be offered. Does that throw a wrench in getting the online sports betting approved? I don't know. There's a lot going on.
So we kind of in a holding pattern right now, or is there something on the calendar that kind of advances this or at least moves it one direction or the other?
From what we know currently, Governor Evers and the tribal leaders are still in the process of getting the gaming compacts kind of renegotiated. They all have to come to an agreement on that before it goes to the federal government. From what I've been told, there have been meetings, but really no definitive answer when that timeline could come and when it gets sent off. So I don't know. And now we're in the midst of a gubernatorial race. This might hit kind of the back burner here.
It's 2:48 here on WTMJ.
Okay, can we talk about sleep for a second? If you're waking up feeling more tired than when you went to bed, your mattress might be the problem. That's why I always tell people to check out Steinhoffel's and their exclusive Discover Your Sleep system. Their sleep experts help you find the right mattress for your body and the way you actually sleep. Jessica Ty, side sleeper here. It's so much easier than trying to figure it out on your own. Plus, with free delivery and a 120-night sleep guarantee, there's no reason to keep losing sleep. Visit your nearest Steinhoffel showroom or shop anytime at steinhoffels.com.
You've seen us around town, volunteering, supporting events, and showing up where it matters. At Waterstone Bank, we're more than a bank. We're your neighbor. The money you deposit stays local, helping small businesses, creating jobs, and supporting home ownership. It's banking from the community for the community. Visit your local branch or WSBOnline.com to see how we're building a stronger southeastern Wisconsin, one neighbor at a time. Waterstone Bank, member FDIC.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, and they offer early memory loss classes to help you. They specialize in this area. It's kindness at the core, locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. It's compassion, it's empathy. It's Wisconsin-based and family-owned, always welcoming people to come tour and welcome their new residents. I've seen their places. They're top-notch. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
I'm Libby Collins. This week on WTMJ Conversations, we talk with Kevin Mathewson, who's the editor of Kenosha County Eye.
He became the deputy chief judge of the district that includes Kenosha, Walworth, and Racine counties. And he walked into intake courtroom where people come in for the first time when they're being charged and told the commissioner, Kevin Mathewson is banned from this room from now on forever.
WTMJ Conversations, Sunday mornings at 11 on WTMJ.
Sunny skies, warm day, high 83, overnight low 62, 77 your high. Closer to the lake on Thursday, same deal on Friday. Plenty of sunshine, could crack 80 inland on both days. Looks like Saturday your next chance of rain, perhaps a better chance on Sunday. It's 80 right now and sunny in Milwaukee at 250. Not to turn this into a sports talk show of any kind, but the SEC is hopping into the same category and bet as the Big Ten, which recently announced that you're not coming back. As soon as you make that pledge to be a professional and you sign a contract with an NFL team or an NBA team or a WNBA team, that is it. Even if you've got that extra year of eligibility, you cannot come back to play for one of our member schools. Now, this came to light recently because there are a couple of guys who got out of the college football ranks, tried to make their way into the NFL, one with the Browns, one with another team. Well, they were recently cut. And they decided, you know what? Didn't work out at the NFL level. I'll just go back to college. And they were recruited to play at LSU in the SEC, a perennial college football power. So that got the Big Ten to saying, look, that ain't happening with us. We are not going to do this. Well, the SEC is hopping into the same boat here. SEC schools that bring back NFL, NBA, or WNBA players to their programs will face steep discipline under a new policy unanimously approved by the conference's 16 members. This confirmed to ESPN. There was a meeting earlier today and momentum now to just put this all to rest. And at the heart of the conversation is LSU head football coach Lane Kiffin. Always a bit controversial throughout his time as a head coach, not only in the NFL, but at the college level. Lane Kiffin has said, look, I don't think they should come back and play at the college level, but there's a court order that suggests they can. So it's either I recruit them or somebody else does.
Over 100 athletes in multiple sports were cleared and said you can go play, whether you signed pro contracts or not, whether you participated in training camps or mini camps, you are allowed to play. And that is the court order. So all court orders have been followed. So I think you're going to get in a really interesting situation if now, as a conference, you start to say, well, we're not going to follow this court order that's been issued. And we're going to say that these kids that the court says can go anywhere, we're going to say, no, you can't.
So court order is now being challenged by the member institutions, and in this case, the conferences, so the Big Ten and the SEC. So here's what it says in the SEC agreement. Previously declared for the NFL, NBA, or WNBA draft and did not appropriately withdraw. In other words, you've got these kind of feeling out times where I'm going to test to see where my draft stock is, and if I don't like it, well, I'll pull my name out of the draft and I'll just go back to college. That happens every year, and there is a deadline for making that decision. If you extend beyond the deadline, the SEC and Big Ten are saying, that's it. You've exhausted your eligibility. Number 2, you sign a contract with an NFL or other professional football league, NBA, G League, or WNBA affiliate team. You sign the contract, you get paid money, whatever amount of money that is, you cannot come back. Number 3, been listed on an NFL, NBA, G League, or WNBA affiliate roster. If you're listed on the roster, you show up in the depth chart, that's it, regardless if you've played a game in the preseason, regular season, or not. So they're trying to get ahead of this, but it was really Lane Kiffin's action that sort of prompted this review by the Big Ten and SEC, and I would think other conferences will follow suit. But I understand Lane Kiffin's point. Not that I often agree with the man, but he says, if I don't recruit these players, others will. This is an arms race, right? These kids are now getting paid, and in some cases, more money at the college ranks than they will ever make at the professional ranks.
I think all of it's just a little too late. I mean, these players, and look, agents involved now with this NIL money, they were able to find a way, right? Go to the courts, be able to get this, eligibility back, and now the conferences are like, okay, wait a minute, this doesn't maybe seem like the right move. And now they're coming out, so I respect them trying to do it, but no, I mean, it's going to be hard to go against, I guess, what some of these courts, and this is happening across the country. You have all these, circuit courts and these judges making these decisions. It's putting college athletics in an interesting spot, if it isn't already.
No doubt about that. And again, you're talking about guardrails trying to be put in place. Well, this goes back to the NCAA, and they're just complete mismanagement of their archaic rule book. It just not choosing to evolve, instead putting it in the hands of the courts to decide what amateurism is, and if student athletes are employees of the university, therefore they should receive a paycheck, or if they're student athletes and they're on scholarship, and no, their name, image, and likeness should not be rewarded financially. Well, the NCAA screwed that up from the start. The guy in question here, one of the guys, his name is Daquan Wright. He played tight end for Ole Miss. That is an SEC school. He dressed for the Cleveland Browns preseason game on Saturday. He did not play. He was waived on Monday. He was unclaimed on Tuesday. And LSU said, we'll take you. Right? I mean, that was what prompted all of this, and now it appears he will not be able to play at the college ranks. It is a crazy Wild West sort of world right now, and you just can't keep up with all of the things that are popping up at the NCAA level. That nothing is amateurism anymore at the NCAA level. It is not. You can get paid to play whatever sport you're playing.
Now, the funny thing is that this is going on right now, LSU football. They just hired a new coach, Will Wade, who some people might know in the college basketball ranks. Similar thing. He's trying to, over the summer, has been trying to get some athletes that have already turned pro and say, come on back. So
I never thought I'd say this, but I liked it so much when the players were getting paid illegally. It just seemed a lot more fun, right? It just, everybody was doing it, some a little more than others, and many out of the SEC were doing it, I tell you that much, and now they're the ones balking at the entire idea of a player coming back to be paid. Interesting. 2:57 here on WTMJ. We are out of time. Wisconsin's afternoon news is right around the corner. And then we've got Brewers baseball coming up at 5:35 tonight. It is Game 2, Brewers and Mets from New York.